Republic and played in the outside man of the back three. I don't like them there, if I'm honest. I know he's performed well there in the qualifying, but I would much rather see Scott in the middle of the pitch, along with John McGinn. And another one of the emerging talent that we're getting now in young Billy Gilmore. So that'd be three players that ply their trade in the English Premier League in the middle of the park. So you need belief, and that's vitally important. I think this squad still retain that belief. I think it's been so long. I've played in Scottish teams that's let us down in the past and not getting a major tournament. I've never had that honour of playing in a tournament and missed out a couple of. So I think against the Czech Republic side, we were favourites, believe it or not. I think that was probably the game everybody had us, having beaten Czech Republic in the last few outings. People had us as favourites, and maybe we just didn't perform to the levels we were capable of. So this is a huge game for us, but we're up for it, I think.
I think we can also bring in now the former English midfielder, Jack Wilshere. Jack, you've been involved, I think, twice in England sides that have beaten Scotland. It's a huge occasion, isn't it? I suppose for both these sides, but for Scotland, they're going to really have to go for this, which will probably make quite an open game.
Yeah. Good afternoon, everyone. Hope everyone's well. I've been fortunate enough to play in an England v Scotland game, and looking back on my England career, I can't remember playing in a game where there was such a great atmosphere. I played in one in Scotland and one in England, and the one in Scotland was incredible. Their fans were unbelievable. It was a great game, a high-tempo game, and I expect it to be the same.
Karen, are you going to be back behind the goal in the thick of it tomorrow evening?
No, not tomorrow. I think Pat Nevin's got the joy, but I'll be back then the following game, and then hopefully England progress, and I'll be doing that there. But I'll be definitely being number one fan again, cheering them on, and fingers crossed.
Emma, with that, Jack, it's Neil here. How did you feel going into that game regarding the rivalry? I know you've played in derbies in the past, but international level, you very rarely get that feeling. Did you feel it was certainly a different type match?
Hi Neil. I think, building up to the game, we knew how important it was to England and the English fans, but it wasn't until really we walked out, we lined up to sing the national anthem, and you could feel the passion within the stadium. The Scottish fans, you couldn't even hear the English anthem. And I think that night as well, us as a team really took the game to Scotland. We got an early goal. Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain scored with his head, and it sort of took the wind out of the game. Like the passion that the fans went by. I know this game's going to be different because it's at Wembley. We need to almost reverse that and get off to a quick start, get the fans on our side, and really show what we can do as a team.
I think Jack's line, a little bit dodgy there, so I'm going to take him out briefly, see if we can get him back up on a clearer line. But just on that, Raheem Sterling's comments this week, Karen, saying it's just another game. Firstly, I think it's riled up a few of the Scotland players. But secondly, when you hear Jack talk about the occasion, do you really believe him when he says that?
Well, that it's just another game?
Yeah.
I think when the whistle goes, it is another game. But in the build-up, I definitely know that when we played Scotland, I remember Erin Cuthbert, literally for about 6 months before the game, she was giving it absolute massive in the dressing room when I played with her at Chelsea. And the rivalry started then. She used to do my head in because straight away she knew I was nibbling, she knew I was biting, because I was like, the rivalry between England and Scotland was right there from the get-go. And as much as she was my Chelsea teammate, and when we crossed the line, I'd do anything for her in a Chelsea shirt, she did my head in when she brought up the England-Scotland rivalry. So, but then when you crossed the line and the whistle went, you completely forgot about it, or actually when you went into your respective camps. So as soon as she went to Scotland camp and I went to England camp, that was it then. We were rivals, but she was starting it months and months before. But that's why I love Erin, though, because she's got the swagger and a bit of cockiness, but in a really, really good way. And straight away she was just like setting off fires in our own Chelsea dressing room with it. But so it does start before, but as soon as the whistle goes, then I do agree with Raheem. It is another game, and you know, you just concentrate on your role and responsibility. And regardless of the fans are the same, you know, when you're playing. So yeah, but I think it starts way before the banter in the dressing room. Come on, you don't want your rivals to beat you.
Yeah, I mean, Neil, this is what I think makes this game so fascinating, because there's so many players that will be involved in this fixture who domestically have been on the same team, and all of a sudden they're then your biggest rivals. Yeah. That's quite an adjustment.
No, it is, but I think professionally, I know what Raheem's saying, and he's right. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter. It's 3 points. It's up for grabs. It's the same 3 points he'll get against Croatia as he'll be searching for against Czech Republic. But it's certainly a different feeling to the match, because you have got that difference where you've been sharing dressing rooms with different players. You've got Tierney down there, Stuart Armstrong, Shea Adams there, all performing in English Premier League. They'll know these guys inside out, and I think until you're in the environment, as Jack was saying and Karen was saying there, once you're in the environment and you experience it and you understand the fixture, because you can hear it till you're blue in the faces, until you're standing there with your respective jersey on and knowing what it means to your country, it's very, very different. I mean, when I was at Hampden, I didn't get on in '99, and the English national anthem was roundly booed. It was battered, you couldn't hear it. And that was reciprocated once we went to Wembley. And of course, the attendance at Wembley there was greater than what it was at Hampden. And you walk out, it was the old Wembley, and we walked out from behind the goals, and you could see our fans were all behind the goals as we headed onto the pitch. But when the national anthem started, the English fans, the noise was huge and booed ours, the Flower of Scotland. But it made for the atmosphere, it made you bristle. And we were really aggressive that night. It brought out an aggression in us as a squad, I think, because we understood the fixture. And I think it was the same for the English lads. And it's just a very, very special game to play in. So, although, yes, Raheem will say it's the same 3 points or the same point or whatever, it won't feel the same if you lose it, let me tell you. It'll be a sore one. I've played in one, I've managed to win one, and ultimately it meant nothing because we didn't qualify. England did. But it felt pretty good in hindsight.
Well, many players out there tomorrow will have to find a way to put their club friendships aside. Neil McCann, Karen Carney, Jack Grealish, thank you for now. And a reminder that we will have full commentary of England against Scotland live from Wembley tomorrow night. That is an 8 o'clock kickoff. But our focus for now is firmly on Copenhagen, the Park and Stadium. Denmark against Belgium is a 5 o'clock kickoff this evening. We're going to be building up to that again very shortly. That's after a 5 Live news update with Anna Foster.
Thank you, Emma. Hello there. The main news this afternoon is that a damning first report into the Manchester Arena terror attack has found that several opportunities were missed to prevent the suicide bomber Salman Abedi from killing 22 people at that Ariana Grande concert back in 2017. Sir John Saunders is leading the public inquiry.
On the 22nd of May 2017, the threat level set by the Joint Terrorism Analysis Centre was severe. That meant that a terrorist attack was highly likely. Whilst the threat was not specific to any particular premises, the arena was always a possible target for a terrorist. There had been previous attacks in Paris and Bavaria, which had shown that popular music events such as those held at the arena could be a target. Everybody concerned with security at the arena should have been doing their job in the knowledge that a terrorist attack might occur on that night. They weren't. No one believed it could happen to them.
He also said, importantly, that it was likely that Abedi would have detonated his device if he'd been confronted, but said that the loss of life and injury would be highly likely to have been less if that had been the case. As well as the 22 people who were killed, hundreds more were injured that night. Our correspondent Nick Garnett is outside Manchester Magistrates Court. Nick, there's an awful lot to consider here. Just run us through the findings and also, importantly, the recommendations that have been made as part of this.
So this is 300 pages of report. It's the first of 3 reports into the events at the arena 4 years ago. This report deals with what happened on the night in effect before the attack happened. It can be summarised as there being a lack of planning by organisations that should have known better. British Transport Police were in charge of policing the area outside the main foyer of the concert hall because it links into
Yep, commentary on the way of Denmark against Belgium here on 5 Live. But before that, we can get an update on golf's US Open. Ian Carter.
Yes, hello again, Emma. They are underway now. A 90-minute delay due to fog on the Pacific coast at Torrey Pines. And at the moment, a three-way tie for the early lead. Fabian Gomez of Argentina, joined by Americans Patrick Rogers and Robbie Shelton. The British player Marcus Armitage, recent winner of the European Open, he's underway. He's opened up with a par. He's playing the back nine first, so started on the 10th. Very shortly, Tommy Fleetwood will be in action. Brooks Koepka among the early starters. And a reminder that tonight we'll have coverage probably of the front nines of the likes of defending champion Bryson DeChambeau, Rory McIlroy and Justin Rose.
Ian, thank you. We are just building up to kick off in Copenhagen this evening on 5 Live Sports. It's Denmark against Belgium. We'll just come back to you, Jack Wilshere, for one more. I mean, this is going to be a highly charged evening, isn't it? Mixed emotions, I'm sure, inside that stadium for those players to deal with.
Yeah, it's difficult circumstances for both sets of players because, as you said before, some of the Belgian players are teammates with him. Obviously, Denmark went through horrific circumstances last game, and it'll be interesting to see how they respond. I'm sure that they'll give everything for Christian. He'll be missed as a player, definitely, because he's probably their best player, but I'm looking forward to seeing how they respond, yeah.
Jack Wilshere, thank you. I can see on the screen here in the studio that the Danish players are assembling in the tunnel in Copenhagen, so we're just moments away from them taking to the pitch in the Parken Stadium, just 5 days on from when Christian Eriksen collapsed in their previous game against Finland. Tonight they're up against the #1 world ranked team in Belgium. So with that, I'll hand you over to our commentary team this evening. It's Karen Carney alongside Conor McNamara.
Thanks very much, Emma. Last time out against Finland, it ended up not really being about the football in the end. We were all just so relieved to see that Christian Eriksen was okay. It didn't seem to matter who had won or lost. Well, that 1-0 victory for Finland represented their first ever win at a major finals, and it meant that on the footballing side, Denmark were going to be battling from here on in to go through to the knockout stages. It is still possible for them. A Belgium win here would be 2 wins out of 2 for Roberto Martinez's side, and they would be guaranteed progression to the knockout stages tonight ahead of their last game in the group. But Denmark, Karen, need a result here, and we're all just fascinated to see, can they turn that terrible scare and anguish from Saturday into a positive against one of the best teams in the world tonight?
I'm just looking at them in the tunnel and just looking at their body language, the focus. They all look very, very focused about this. Just waiting to go out, but they need the result. You know, they need the result, and the circumstances horrendous, weren't they? But they've got to go out there now, and I'm sure they'll be wanting it to do it for the fans, for Christian Eriksen, for everyone involved in it, that they'll want to get this result, and I'm sure the fans will get behind them as well.
You mentioned to me before, you know, there are triggers standing in the tunnel here, listening to this crowd outside. These are things that won't have been in their head for the last few days as they've come to terms with what happened on Saturday. But little triggers will be in their head now, reminding them of the emotions they felt on that day.
Constantly.
Has to be.
Yeah, constantly. You know, the tunnel, the dressing room, the 10th minute when they're going to kick the ball out, they're all going to be reminders. So it's how they cope with that.
Here they come then. This is the noise from Copenhagen. This is 5 Live for the BBC. Group B of Euro 2020. We are getting ready for Denmark against Belgium. And this crowd which sung the name in desperation and hope of Christian Eriksen on Saturday, willing him to be okay. Now they cheer. emotional. Several of the Danish players with tears in their eyes. Daniel Vest particularly was openly crying there, the Valencia defender. And a national anthem sung with gusto in Copenhagen. We are yet to see if this is going to help or hinder the Danish team. This is so emotional now. The team that line up, 2 changes from Saturday. Kasper Schmeichel as the goalkeeper. A switch to 3 at the back. Andreas Christensen, Simon Kjær and Yannick Vestergaard of Southampton, who comes into the team. Daniel Vest and Joachim Michela are the wing-backs. Pierre-Emile Højbjerg alongside Thomas Delaney in the centre. And then a front 3 of Yusuf Poulsen, Mikkel Damsgaard and Martin Braithwaite. The players are exchanging pendants as they do with the coin toss ahead of kick-off. And a lovely touch from the Belgians, because their captain, Jan Vertonghen, has brought out, as well as the normal little pendant, a huge framed Belgian jersey which has got number 10 Christian on the back of it, and all the Belgian squad have signed that framed shirt, and it's obviously a gift to the Danes and a gift to Eriksson of how they have been thinking of him. That's a lovely moment. The Belgian team, Thibaut Courtois the goalkeeper, 3 central defenders for them also, Toby Alderweireld, Jason Denayer and Jan Vertonghen. Thomas Meunier's right wing back, Torgan Hazard on the left hand side, Wolves' Leander Den Donker alongside Leicester's Yuri Tielemans in the middle, and then the front 3 with Dries Mertens on the right, Yannick Carrasco of Atletico Madrid on the left, and Romelu Lukaku, the top scorer, 2 goals to his name already at this competition, and hunting down the golden boot. So much emotion, I literally have goosebumps. The hairs on my arms are standing up here. This is powerful stuff, Karen Carney.
It is. That's exactly how I felt there. Goosebumps, and I don't think I've seen such an emotional national anthem from the fans, from the players. When it zoomed in on them, you can see the emotion in them. And then that huddle now, that last huddle there where Kjær just went into his team, got them all together. Look, it's not going to be easy given the circumstances, and even more so playing against a number 1 ranked team, Belgium, who playing pretty well. But like as you said, we're going to see if this helps or hinders the Danish side, but we'll see how it goes.
Ahead of kick-off, all of the Belgian players are taking a knee. The Danes all stay on their feet, but their players applaud the Danes making that gesture ahead of kick-off. As Denmark prepare to get the game started, they will play from left to right as we look down. Copenhagen, the venue, Group B. This is the 5 o'clock kickoff this Thursday on 5 Live from the BBC. And we've got Denmark against Belgium, and so emotional. I think, you know, we all went through the ringer, even from a distance looking on Saturday. I mean, I'm sort of getting flashbacks to how I felt at the time, how these players were able to play that day and continue, how they're able to come out and play today. It actually is remarkable.
And I think as well, when Vertonghen and Kjær both went up for the captain's kind of coin toss and shake, Vertonghen obviously, as you said, gave him the signed jersey, but he gave him a really big hug. And you just see Kjær a little bit, you know, he doesn't, it's understandable given what he's been through, but it was nice to see Vertonghen, you know, share the love and respect before the game.
I think, you know, it's a good reminder and an important reminder. We all get so heated up about VAR and things going wrong and other supporters and blah, 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 blah. It's a game. It is sport. It is fun. And a reminder there, and I think, you know, we're all just happy to be alive on Saturday, and I think that is a feel-good feeling that is the vibe around Copenhagen, but also just remembering the scare that everyone did have. Anyway, let's hope the football takes precedent now as Braithwaite attacks down the right-hand side for Denmark. However, he was offside. Flag is raised. Great pace to get there ahead of the byline on the right. He was in the race with Vertonghen, but the flag was raised anyway, and it's going to be a free kick to Belgian left foot back position for them.
Well, he's going to have Braithwaite. He's going to be using that pace against Vertonghen, you know, probably not as quick as he was. Vertonghen getting down that side. Both teams are playing similar and they've just give it away.
And Denmark with an early chance. Poulsen, side of goal, and he scores! This is incredible. 2 minutes into the game, and already the opening goal for Denmark. It was distressing. It was anguish-filled on Saturday. This afternoon, it is joy and emotion. Absolute burst of relief from the Danish fans, smiles on faces, a release of joy. Poulsen's first touch, and he's putting the Danes in front.
That is unbelievable. What a start. Belgium give the ball away, they win it back, and it falls to Poulsen. He's just on the outside of the penalty area, takes a touch in, right foot, and puts it in the back of the net. And then it's about the emotion. The crowd got behind him, Poulsen himself, tearful. We spoke about, was it going to be a hinder or a help? But wow, this team have galvanised, and what a finish and what a start.
Roberto Martinez will not believe what he's seen there. There was no danger at all. Denier with a pass that gave it away. And there was 1 minute and 39 seconds on the clock when Poulsen's shot beat Courtois into the bottom corner. Well, if Belgium were wondering, was this going to be a difficult task today against an emotional sprung Danish team, they've just got their answer. Denmark 1, Belgium 0 already, and FIFA's top-ranked team in the world find themselves in a game now as Tielemans down the other end sends in a cross-come shot that was flicked on by Mertens, and Schmeichel stood firm and made a good save. Excellent start to the match.
What a game. Now Belgium have gone the other end. Tielemans whips it in, gets the cross in the head, and Schmeichel comfortably saves it, but it's end-to-end already. What a game.
1 minute 39 seconds. Wow. As Denmark released just the we mentioned how it was a pressure cooker of emotion. People were crying during the anthems. A really strange mood that we don't often see inside a football stadium, and all that pressure cooker valve was just relieved with the joy and relief of the Poulsen strike and the goal. And Denmark fans are celebrating again, and who knows where they go from here now.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. But look, going back to the goal, it was clinical and well executed from Poulsen, but you have to say, what were Belgium doing, playing out, you know, shocking pass, but they've been punished. They've got to respond now.
Terrible ball from Denier, who's one of the changes in the team, as Højbjerg crosses from the right-hand side for Denmark. And there's no one marking Mæhle here, and he steps into the penalty area. He tries to take on Vertonghen. He's through him. Out comes Courtois, bravely dives down at the feet of the wing-back, but Denmark were almost in again. Belgium are all over the place here. They give the ball away in the edge of their penalty area. Damsgaard will run into the box for Denmark. He slips as he sends in a low cross. Braithwaite tried to flick it at the front post, and somehow it's shoveled out for a corner. Belgium are hanging on here and in severe danger of going 2-0 down.
Exactly what you said. I cannot believe Belgium are all over the shop, giving the ball away, defending poorly in the penalty area. You know, Mæhle gets in there, he gets the opportunity, doesn't take the shot, and it happens to fall through, comes back across to Braithwaite, and again just managed to clear it. But I tell you what, Belgium are all over the shop.
Wonderful close touch control from Mæhle as he burst into the penalty there, like a jinking winger rather than a defender. But of course he plays for Atalanta, who are just hell for leather, always in attack mode, so he's used to coming forward. And that was another let-off for Belgium. And you know, they go 2-0 down, and you'd actually worry if they could recover despite this being so early in the game. It's a red wave from Denmark as they attack with Mæhle again down the left-hand side. Mounier trying to keep tabs on him. High ball delivered in. Header on target is saved. It was Daniel Vess. His header on target, but Courtois, stretching to his right-hand side, is able to gather. 1-0 to Denmark.
Again, the cross came in from the left-hand side, and as you said, Vess is coming in on the right-hand side. He's running in very, very late. I mean, it was a great ball in from Mæhle again. But he's coming in last minute, he's unmarked, and he doesn't get enough power on the header. But tell you what, this new formation that they've changed to Denmark, they've gone to a back three and they're pushing the wing backs on in Mæhle and Vars, and you've seen how positive it is. And tell you what, if you're asking who's the number one ranked team, it is not Belgium at this moment.
The goal, 1 minute 39 seconds, the second fastest goal ever at a European Championships. The only quicker goal than that was Dmitry Kirichenko for Russia against Greece at Euro 2004. He scored after 1 minute and 5 seconds, but that was an extremely early start. And wow, you know, talk about living up to the building, you know, the billing. Talk about brushing off the pressure. What a start it has been, and almost it feels a release card. It almost feels they've spoken about Eriksson so much. They've thought about, they're just relieved to be out there playing football now, doing what they do best.
I think as well it was Poulsen who got the goal, and I really listened and also read his interviews, how they all opened up as a team from what happened to Christian Eriksen. And sometimes when you're so vulnerable with your team and you're living with them and you're with them 24/7, it appears like it's galvanised them, and credit to them, and what a start they've had to this game.
Well, Belgium had it all their own way in their opener. I commentated on that game for 5 Live from St. Petersburg, and you know, 3-0 there was no stress in that game. Russia hardly had an attempted goal. They have come here, and any sense of relaxed, we can take it easy and there's no problem progressing and all the rest of it, well, that's been shaken out of them here by such a determined start from Denmark. Yusuf Poulsen's goal, he's 9th for his country. Denmark 1, Belgium 0. He still only played 7 minutes, but they have been a frantic 7 minutes as Mæhle, who's having a stormer at left wing-back, comes forward again for the Danes. Delaney gives it back to Yannick Vestergaard, the 6'6" giant from Southampton. And then Delaney's ball towards the edge of the penalty area picks out Damsgaard, and that's where it's going to break down for the Danes as Mounier shepherds it out for a goal kick. Goal kick for Courtois, away to our right-hand side.
Definitely this shape really suits Denmark, and getting down the sides are looking really strong and causing some problems. Again, maybe it's the aging side of Belgium, they can't get out, they don't look quite sharp, they don't look at it. But, you know, my gut is actually saying it's a fantastic start from Denmark and brilliant. But I hope they keep on this momentum in terms of if they get the chance, they've got to keep taking them, because Belgium will make changes at some point, and you don't want it to.
Here they come again. Poulsen's cross from the left-hand side. Belgium are making rudimentary mistakes which you do not expect from a team of their calibre. Passes that should be simple are proving difficult. Lukaku slips unopposed and gives the ball away, and there's a big cheer from the Danish fans as they regain possession on the halfway line. Denmark 1, Belgium 0. If you're just joining our coverage here on 5 Live, an extremely early goal, well taken by Yusuf Poulsen, but massively aided and abetted by terrible defending from Jason Denayer, giving the ball away. But credit Poulsen, he still had work to do. He's against one of the best goalkeepers in the world, Courtois, there from the edge of the penalty area. Boy, did he pick his spot. Denmark come forward again. Long ball launched towards Braithwaite. One in the air by Jan Vertonghen. Belgium get it down on the deck. Carrasco over to the far side to Thomas Mounier. I think Belgium could just do, Karen, with a period of possession here, just hold on to the ball and stop making mistakes, frankly.
Well, it's exactly, I was just looking at...
Tielemans gets his pocket picked again. Sorry, Karen.
No, I'm looking at the stats just really quickly, and they've had 60% possession. And every time, you know, Belgium do win it back, Denmark are on them, they're in their faces, so, you know, really getting the pressure on, being aggressive and trying to win it back really quickly. But you're right, you don't expect a Belgium side to have 40% possession. You know, they really want to dominate the ball, and with the shape they have, it's not been good enough.
Belgium have had 4 attempts at goal in the opening 7 minutes. That tells you what mood they are in this very unusual week for Danish football, for Danish life in general. Their poster boy in effect, one of the most talented Danish players there has been in a generation, Christian Eriksen, has shaken the country to the core over the last few days, and they've turned up today full of celebration. And now as we approach the 10th minute, the ball is going to be put out of play, and this is preordained, this is planned. The Belgians holding play up so that everyone can stop and applaud, including the referee Bjorn Kuipers of the Netherlands. There is a massive banner being unveiled by the Danish fans with the word Christian on that. People are holding up number 10 Denmark shirts, and it's a standing ovation for Christian Eriksen. And I'm sure, Karen, he will be watching these pictures from his hospital bedroom. What must he be feeling? I mean, you know, such an outpouring of love, and I don't think that's too strong a word to use. The love that the football world has shown to this guy in the past few days, and how appreciated he is.
Oh, it's just seeing it all come together, and then it just panned in on Lukaku there, and even, you know, everyone's emotional, you know, and I'm sure he's watching, cheering his team on, and, you know, thinking, well, it's brought everyone together, and a bad situation there are some positives, but, you know, for it.
We pondered before kick-off, would the emotion of the day be a good thing or a bad thing for Denmark? I think from a Belgian point of view, you could see their players during that little break and the applause for Eriksen. They're playing 12 men here. They're playing the 11. They're also playing the shadow, if you like, of Christian Eriksen and the presence that he's bringing to this occasion from afar.
And it's funny you mentioned at the start of the show in terms of, you know, Christian Eriksen, what he brings football-wise to the Denmark team. Is their best player, and losing it, you're thinking, wow. But again, sometimes when you don't have your best player, your team have to step up. And again, given the circumstances and losing your best player as a footballer, it's just a togetherness I haven't seen before.
Right, and Belgium have not been together at all. They have struggled to create opportunities. There was one ball by Tielemans played into the penalty area, which Mertens tried to flick on, but Even that was a comfortable save for Kasper Schmeichel. Here is Lukaku trying to use his bulk to force Kerr off the ball, but Simon Kerr stands firm. Ball popped over the top. Lukaku tries to get after it the second time, but out comes Schmeichel and he gets there. And a little thumbs up from Lukaku to his teammates, and he wants better service than he's been having in these opening 11 or 12 minutes.
He's had the ball up to him, but he hasn't made it stick, and that's because the three centre-backs of Denmark have been superb.
Down the other end, Poulsen's been allowed to turn, plays in a brilliant ball, and Damsgaard stretching, gets a touch, but can't divert it towards the goal. What a chance for Denmark to make it 2. Yusuf Poulsen's having a fine game. His delivery into the penalty area was good, and it was actually very good defending from Mounier to get back and to put pressure on Damsgaard. But what a chance for Denmark.
Belgium are all over the shot. You know, it's a direct kick from Kasper Schmeichel out to Poulsen, one touch, and he puts it into an area. The cross is sensational, and you're right, Damsgaard gets in there, but it was well defended. But 2 passes and they're in at the Belgian back line. It's not good enough.
What a game this has been so far. You really never know in football, do you? You never know what you're going to get. You never know who's going to turn up. Boy, have Denmark turned up here. And Braithwaite is going to try and use his pace here to get there ahead of Vertonghen. Mistake by the former Tottenham man. It's still a chance for Denmark. Braithwaite puts it in across the edge of the 6-yard box. He was looking for Damsgaard, but it's cleared away. You said it all over the shop. I cannot believe this is the same Belgium that wiped the floor with Russia on Saturday.
It's incredible, and Braithwaite, he's got the beating of Vertonghen in terms of his pace. Any ball in behind there, he's going to win that battle, and that's what they're going to do. And he got into a good area there, just couldn't get out of his feet and pick the pass in the final third.
Then Donker tries to play the ball to Torgan Hazard, and again, they can't get out of defence, Belgium. The ball out of play for a throw-in to Denmark. Denmark 1, Belgium 0. Early goal if you're just joining us here on 5 Live. Remember, you can listen on the text commentary page of the BBC Sport website. We're also on BBC Sounds, where you can pause and rewind and replay live games throughout Euro 2020. And you can also get the Euros Daily, the daily podcast from BBC Radio 5 Live, bringing you up to date with all the news and views and events of the tournament. And Belgium, who have been many people's favourites to go and win it, and certainly didn't dampen any of that enthusiasm in their opening game, but they have not been at the races here at all so far. They've not been allowed to by a Danish team who have come out and have just gone for it like their very lives depend on things. Denier, whose mistake led to the early goal, passes to his left-hand side to Jan Vertonghen. Now to the halfway line. Torgan Hazard tries a back heel, and he's closed down again by Vass, and that's a throw into Belgium.
It's really slow from Belgium. Just the passing, it's slow. It looks like they're hiding as well. You know, I don't see Tielemans demanding the ball, don't see Dendoncker demanding the ball. It just looks really lethargic, and they're kind of shouting at each other. Mertens there just saying get up. They're a little bit rattled.
No, there hasn't been a single passage of play where you think, yeah, now this is the Denmark we know. They've not been able to string 3-4 passes together, whereas Denmark have been full of it. Here they come again. Poulsen into the penalty area right-hand side. He tried to scoop in across, and it's one of those where he's trying to get his studs in underneath the ball, and he's skewed it, and it scuffs out wide, and he's furious with himself because he knows that was a good chance. Damsgaard was available in the middle.
Yeah, I mean, it was difficult because there was 3 Belgian defenders in that central area, and he couldn't really pick out Damsgaard. But there is a problem for Belgium, and it is down the left-hand side. Vertonghen is having one. He's getting done for pace. He's not dealing with the pressure, and he needs support from his wing-back.
Belgium give it away again. They've been terrible. Mela to the byline left-hand side, sends it across. Braithwaite tries to head it to the front post. Belgium are hoping this won't be a corner here. I think it's going to be a goal kick. Braithwaite saying the last touch came off Denier as he headed it. No, I think it went straight off him. I think that's a goal kick is the correct decision.
Again, the wing-backs of Denmark are winning their individual battles. Meyer there getting down the left-hand side, getting a cross in. And Braithwaite he was just too wide of the penalty, the goal, so he just couldn't get his header across. And to be fair to Denier, he got across and defended it well. But you know, Belgium are getting done down the sides. You know, they're not winning those individual battles. The shapes are exactly the same, so they're just getting done individually, and they need to step it up.
Some opening quarter of an hour here. Denmark leading Belgium by 1-0. We're live inside Wembley for England against Scotland tomorrow. Kickoff is 8 o'clock tomorrow night, but the build-up on 5 Live will start in breakfast from 6 a.m. Nikki at Leicester Market, Rachel at the Tennant's Brewery in Glasgow. It's going to be a big day of build-up for a very, very big game, and of course we'll be across it all on 5 Live tomorrow night with John Murray, our correspondent at Wembley. Copenhagen, though, this is a game being bossed by the Danes, and if anything, the way things are going at the moment, they'll just be disappointed if they don't double their lead soon.
Well, that's what I was saying to you earlier, Connor, is that there's so much momentum, they're having so many chances, they've got to take them. You know, with the subs bench that's available for Belgium, I know it is really early on in the game, but Belgium will grow into this game eventually at some point, whether it's they get a grip of themselves or they bring the subs on, but Denmark heavily on top at the moment, far the superior team, have got to make it count.
99 seconds was the timing on the goal. Incredible moment for Yusuf Poulsen, incredible release of tension for all of Copenhagen, for all of Denmark, and frankly for all of football. It has been a really funny few days. It was a very funny few hours around the time when we all had such concern for Christian Eriksen, but it ended up being a happy day for football, and it could end up still being a happy month for the Danes. Remember, they will host Russia in Copenhagen, this same stadium, on Monday, and as things stand, they are still in with a big shout of progressing through to the knockout stages, and that despite the opening defeat against Finland. I mean, the details of that match sort of got lost in all the Eriksen coverage for very obvious reasons. But you remember, Denmark missed a penalty in that game. Højbjerg could have scored, Eriksen their normal penalty taker. And Finland only had one attempted goal in the game, and that was the one that they scored. So even in the circumstances, Denmark will probably feel they should have won that opening game and were good enough to do so. Here's Højbjerg battling for the ball on the right-hand side. His cross won't be delivered in, but a mistake with a clearance from Tillemans will give the ball straight to Andreas Christensen. And at the moment, Belgium, when they win possession, they are immediately giving it up again, time and time again. Here is Delaney, midway inside the Belgium half. Plays it towards the penalty area, not a great delivery. He was looking for Poulsen, it was behind him, and it goes out for a goal kick. Karen Carney.
Belgium are hiding. It's as simple as, you know, they're giving the ball away far too cheaply. Tielemans and Dendoncker not really showing up in that midfield. And too many players hiding. We haven't mentioned Lukaku, Mertens, Carrasco. Too many players hiding. It's a credit to Denmark. They're pressing, they're being aggressive, very front-footed. Belgium have got to improve.
So let's see if they can string a few passes together here. Tielemans onto Carrasco. He comes over the halfway line. Thorgan Hazard available in the sunshine out there. Tries to return it to Carrasco, and it's the same old story. Intercepted pass. They're not sharp enough. They're not on it today. Frankly, Karen, I was worried that the performance Belgium are showing here, I thought this is what might happen to Denmark. I thought the occasion might be too big for them. The passes would be terrible, defensive mistake. But it's not. It's the opponents who've been affected by the emotion, it seems.
And that's what they've galvanised. This team has come together. And you praise them, but Belgium have gone the other way. It's like they're in, I don't know, the second gear. That they haven't come out of the traps. They're still on the bus, and you can't do that. And even before the circumstances, Denmark, top team, you know, really good team. So they're still on the bus, you know, Belgium.
Poor from Belgium, but Denmark are playing out of their skins. 20 minutes played. Carrasco trying to get things moving. Low ball to the feet of Lukaku. Back to goal. We know he can turn half chances into goals. He does it so regularly for Belgium, but he's given the ball away again here. It's picked up by Mikkel Damsgaard, and Denmark regain possession midway inside their own half.
Well, they're trying to find it into Lukaku, but Kerr, he's sticking to him tight. He's getting really, really tight to him. Lukaku can't roll him, and he's trying to pick out a pass. No one's near him. No, so it's going up there. He's not making it stick, and he can't pass it to anyone else because they're hiding.
Romelu Lukaku, who scored 2 goals against Russia, who scored against Croatia the weekend before in the final warm-up game for this tournament. And even though Denmark have got the early lead, and even though Belgium are not playing well, with Lukaku's international goal-scoring record, it is far from inconceivable that they can bounce back into this game quickly if they can click into gear. But no evidence of that yet. Possession with Dendoncker, the Wolves player, bang on the halfway line. Rolls it back to Toby Alderweireld, the only Belgian to play in all 10 of the qualifiers, didn't miss a single minute on Belgium's route through to this tournament. Carrasco is challenged from behind by Andreas Christensen, Champions League winner with Chelsea this season, came on as an early sub in the final when Thiago Silva was injured. He's committed a foul here, and it'll be a free kick to Belgium in the midfield. In fact, it might have been a handball from Andreas Christensen. Denmark 1, Belgium 0. Here's Tillemans wearing bright green boots, coming over the halfway line, rolling it to the right-hand side to Toby Alderweireld. Denmark, for the first time in the game, have stepped back a little bit here, and they're sitting somewhat deeper as the ball is played in towards Lukaku, and it's nowhere near good enough. Poor from Meunier, and it goes through to Kasper Schmeichel.
They're trying to play it up to Lukaku, and as I said previously, Keh's getting really, really tight to him, and he can't make anything happen, and there's no runs in behind from Belgium, so the Danish team are just stepping up and squeezing because there's no threat in behind, and then it allows them to be tighter to those number 10s. You know, Denmark have got all the answers to all the questions that have been posed from Belgium, and there's not many questions being posed at the moment.
If you're just tuning our way on 5 Live, mistake out of defence from Jason Denayer. He gave the ball to Pierre-Emil Højbjerg, immediately shifted back to the edge of the penalty area to Yusuf Poulsen, and he tucked it away into the bottom left-hand corner. A fine finish for the Leipzig forward who played against both Manchester United and Liverpool in the Champions League this season. Poulsen, who will feel he was due a goal. His last at club level came in March, didn't score in any of his last 10 appearances for Leipzig in Germany this season, but afforded one opportunity at Copenhagen today. Boy, did he take that with real gusto. And Group B is in danger of being thrown right open here after the early win for Belgium. If Denmark were to win this game, remember, Finland have already won a game, Russia have won a game. You're looking at a scenario where they're all in it going into the last day as things stand. I mean, all the teams could be eliminated, all the teams could still go through. This could be a crazy group. As things stand, it could all change, of course. Here they come again, the Danes. Damsgaard outside the penalty area on the left-hand side to Joachim Mæhle, who's had a wonderful start to the match. Ball played in by Yannick Vestergaard, not a great delivery this time, and it's too close to Courtois, and the Real Madrid goalkeeper is able to gather possession. Denmark 1, Belgium 0. Danish crowd jumping up and down. It's like, you know, those Poznan fans used to do with their back to goal incorporated by Manchester City. It's like that, but just not with the back to goal. They're all just looking at the pitch, and they're hopping up and down on their seats. And what a change in atmosphere from this very same venue on Saturday, and those anxiety scenes when Christian Eriksen was lying on the ground. What a different atmosphere today. The crowd's absolutely packed in, and a really lovely festival of football feeling, unless you're a Belgian, of course, in Copenhagen at the moment. But surely Belgium can only improve in this game. Past the midway point in the first half. No threat to Schmeichel in the Danish goal yet. Let's see what Mertens can do here. Down the right-hand side for Belgium, he's forced back into his own half, back through Alderweireld. Denayer, Jason Denayer, who plays in France with Lyon these days. It's his first appearance at this tournament for him. Boyata played against Russia at the weekend. Here is Alderweireld, and from the halfway line, no ambition, no options. He turns and he rolls it back to Courtois.
That's it. This because they're moving the ball too slow. And as I keep saying, when I keep saying that the players are hiding it, they're not asking for the ball, they're not making angles, they're not supporting. It's too easy for Denmark to win it back, and as soon as they win it back, Denmark, they're better in possession, they've got better angles around them, and they're moving it with a lot more intensity, and they've also got the crowd behind them as well, and that's a big difference in terms of adding the intensity to their passing and tackling.
What a day for Mikkel Damsgaard, 20 years of age, only his 4th cap, plays his club football in Italy under Claudio Ranieri at Sampdoria. He's just been running around, all that youthful exuberance. I mean, he's effectively the main striker, though Braithwaite is coming in and increasingly playing through the middle as well. But he's just like a young kid out there. He's popping up left wing, right wing, anywhere at all. Here he is on the ball, stretching and managing to get it back to Joachim Mæhle. Here come Denmark again. Belgian defence need to be on high alert. Denayer stretches, doesn't get a great touch, and then a shot from distance from Daniel Vess is well off target in the end. But all the action, all the chances in this game, all the positivity is coming from the Danes.
They're tactically outdoing Belgium, they really are, and that's something you don't often say about Martinez and his team, but they're getting done down the sides. Denmark are putting overloads down there, getting extra bodies in there and pushing, you know, the Belgium side back, and they can't answer it. They've got no solution at the moment.
According to the Opta stats, Romelu Lukaku has had the fewest touches of the ball of any outfield player in the game so far. That tells you everything. As Højbjerg plays another ball into the Belgian penalty area. Vertonghen jumps well with Poulsen. His header comes down to Delaney. Delaney under pressure from Den Donker, and the ball goes out for a throw-in to Belgium. But Belgium all at sea, no composure, no rhythm to their play so far. And for a team of whom there is such expectancy, this has been a really disappointing opening 25 minutes for them.
It really has, and when I say they're getting tactically outdone. They're on the attack again.
Mela up to the feet of Braithwaite. He tries to flick it on. What a career it's turned out for Martin Braithwaite. You wouldn't have thought when he was a Middlesbrough player a few years back that he'd be playing alongside Lionel Messi at Barcelona. As Belgium were able to clear the ball away. Karen.
But no, I was saying about the tactical side. It's because the Danish, wing backs are playing pretty much as wingers, even centre forwards, and that's where they're getting the overloads down the flanks. And they've probably looked at it and gone, Alderweireld, Vertonghen on both sides, they're aging, and Hazard's not going to give him the support. Amunier is going to be high as well, so you can exploit them, and that's exactly what they've done.
I have to say I'm a big fan of Joachim Mela. He's almost like a retro winger, isn't he? I love the way he drops the shoulder, takes on the fullback. On that occasion he sent Den Donker to the cleaners, and Den Donker was forced to take him down, free kick to the Danes.
The best form of defence is attack, and he's exactly doing that, and he's pushing the Belgium team back and back and back, and again they're being tactically outdone, and they need to regroup.
We haven't had many attacking set pieces. There's only been one corner in the game. This is a free kick just outside the penalty area, but wide over the touchline left-hand side. Played in. Den Donker's the first defender, and he jumps high, and a good defensive header sends it out of play for a throw-in. But Denmark will remain on the attack down that left-hand side.
Well, they've definitely got the momentum now, Connor. No, it's just, again, got to make it count, because I just fear that at half-time you're going to see a Kevin De Bruyne, you're going to see an Eden Hazard come on. So you've got to make this momentum count.
Can the Danes get a second while they are still on top in the match? Surely Belgium at some stage are going to regroup, and we'll see what they're made of. Another free kick here for the Danes, another foul on Mela. This time it's Mertens who's taken him down, but he has put the fear of God into Den Donker and Mounier. They are both so afraid of Mela at the moment, and they're almost not even trying to tackle. They're just hacking him down because they know he's going to go around them. So same story again. Can the delivery be better this time?
It has to be. I keep saying on 5 Live how important set plays are. They are a difference maker, and you're right, the first delivery wasn't good enough, but some big aerial players in this Danish side, so get the delivery right, give those players the opportunity to get their head on the ball.
Daniel Vest, who was the most emotional of the Danish players during the anthem, he was visibly crying. He takes the free kick, higher delivery this time, but high enough for Courtois to come and gather.
Again, the quality, the delivery's not quite there. You've got a fantastic goalkeeper in Courtois, you've got to miss him out.
So again, from that defensive position, Belgium tried to counter-attack, and Denmark have got everything under control, and the ball goes out for a throw-in on the left wing. It will be a throw-in for Belgium, a chance for them to push forward. There was a bit of a collision inside the penalty area with that free kick a moment ago, but if anything it was the attacking players fouling the defender Tillemans, so no need for the referee to retrospectively look at that. It's certainly not a penalty shout. Belgium give them right away from the throw-in. They give away possession. They have not been able to put 2-3 passes together inside their opponent's half in this game so far. It's actually being an unusual, almost disturbing performance from Belgium, how they can be this poor.
I think you just have to give so much credit to Denmark. They've been spot on. If you're watching the game, you'd never know what had happened, in the last game. You'd think, wow, organised, aggressive, front-footed, got intensity in possession, constant angles, playing so well.
The goal came exactly 99 seconds after the start of the match, scored by Josef Poulsen. Courtois has been by far the busiest goalkeeper since then. Kasper Schmeichel, a spectator down the other end, and here Alderweireld tries to clear away, and the youthful Damsgaard comes in and closes it down, and they can't even get it out of the back three now, Belgium.
Like I said, the organisation, they're pressing from the front, they're not pressing in isolation, they're going as a team and stopping it at source.
The adrenaline has been turned into a performance enhancer for the Danes. Here goes Carrasco down the left-hand side, tries to take on Vassili's. What a corner. Right, this is very much a rarity. An attacking corner for Belgium. Can they make this count now?
Again, same story, but now for Belgium, got to get the delivery right.
Carrasco's had a brilliant season in Spain, won La Liga with Atletico Madrid. The sun is in his face as he raises two hands up as a signal and rolls the ball short for Hazard, Torgan Hazard. Now into Till. That's a terrible corner routine. They've really not made much of it here. Can they resurrect things? Hazard plays it back to the defenders. This is so harum-scarum from Belgium. There doesn't seem to be an awful lot of thought gone into it. Another high-risk cross-field ball out towards Hazard, which he will keep in play by the corner flag. But this is not the Belgium we expect to see with little tiki-taka moves and getting it up to Lukaku. It's almost like they're making picking it up as they go along.
They're rattled. It probably was a training ground corner, but the detail of the pass has really stitched one player, two player, and they've just passed it on. And
better delivery this time from Carrasco, and Schmeichel is forced to come and punch it away, puts his right fist to the ball and clears it well outside the penalty area. Mela onto Braithwaite, back to Mela, and then he's tackled just outside the penalty area, and Alderweireld has got a chance to turn this into a counter-attack, but he turns backwards.
It's not one player in the box though, Connor.
It's very strange. I mean, I know we're going on about it here in this commentary, but Belgium, who were so good to watch against Russia, have been so bad to watch here against the Danes. They've not been allowed to play, sure, by an excellent Danish performance, but their decision-making's been poor. Here comes across from Mounier, headed away at the back by Simon Kjær, and that goes out for a throw-in. And a throw into Belgium, and I still feel at some moment they're going to click into gear here, but it hasn't happened yet, and the clock is continuing to tick on, and we've now played well over half an hour. I mean, there's only just 10 minutes and a bit to go until half-time here, and Belgium have not looked anything like what we know they're capable of. And just an illustration of it here, if you think we're being too critical of the commentary, a throw-in is taken, and they put it straight back out for a throw again. No pressure from the opponent. Simple mistakes, everything is proving difficult.
It's basics. Simple basics that they're not doing well. As you said, throw in, sets it back, and he kicks it out of play. You know, they just seem really rattled. And you said about regrouping, desperately need to regroup. And I think the only change for me, if I was Roberto Martinez, I'd be making subs at half-time. I wouldn't even be waiting for the old 60-minute bring the sub on. I'd be changing it.
So another chance here, another defensive mistake gives the ball away at the back for Belgium. Let's see what Vas can do with it here. Sends it into the penalty area, just too high for Poulsen, who made a great lead, but he just couldn't propel himself high enough to control that. Belgium will clear it away with Alderweireld up to the halfway line, and immediately possession is given up once again. But that was another example. No danger at the back for Belgium, but they mess it up, and they almost present another opportunity to the Danes.
Yep, kicking it long. Lukaku's been marked superbly from Kjær, and they've got no answers. They desperately need a change.
Denmark 1, Belgium 0. 5 live from the BBC. Copenhagen the venue, as the cross from Damsgaard here is again not dealt with. What was Alderweireld doing there? He's given it back to Damsgaard into the penalty area, shoots, and it spins and it curls, but it just doesn't creep into the bottom corner. It's agonisingly wide for Mikkel Damsgaard, but boy, are Denmark banging on the door now for their second.
Wow, what a chance from the young lad there. Steps in, he's got 4 Belgian players around him, shifts it onto his left foot, and he just tried to side foot it past Courtois into the corner, and he just slightly wide, but brilliant play from him really to win it back, and then to have the confidence to go into the box and try and get around 3 or 4 players.
He's a young player, Mikkel Damsgaard. He looks so fresh-faced. He looks like he's got school in the morning. But the way he dropped the shoulder, the balance shift in the penalty area there was great to watch, and he was unlucky with the shot. Down the other end come Belgium. Mounier into the penalty area, wanted to pull it back for Lukaku, but again, the wires are crossed. The simple things prove difficult. A wayward pass, and Belgium, having worked hard to get it down that end, immediately give away possession, and Denmark have it once more.
Connor, I don't know about you, but every time the ball's played into Lukaku, he slips over. I don't know if he's got to change his boots at half-time, but you know, nothing's sticking, but it's not helping when you're slipping every time it goes into you.
62 international goals in 94 appearances, including today, but he has not looked the lethal striker that we know he is, Romelu Lukaku, and he scored over 30 goals for Inter as they won Serie A this season in Italy. But he's not had a sniff, and as you said, anytime the ball goes near him, he's falling over. He's, you know, not even the presence that we would expect to see from Romelu Lukaku.
I just think he needs support around him. I haven't seen enough of Carrasco or Mertens, and I just think they're not helping him. And those two in particular, because they're not going forward, it means then there's a lot of pressure on the back line, and that's the weakness of the Belgium side, given their ageing probably. And I hate to bring age up, but the intensity that Denmark are bringing, you can kind of see it.
Yeah, well, I know people will be tuning in all the time, maybe getting in their car, you know, heading towards tea time now on this Thursday evening. Just to give you a brief recap of these amazing developments we've seen, and compared to Saturday, such positive developments. But what an afternoon it has been. Denmark have come out, a game fraught with emotion. They had a huge number 10 shirt as the ball is played in towards Poulsen. Again, he's done really well to control it, and then cleared away by Alderweireld. Huge number 10 shirt on the pitch before the game. Wonderful emotional scenes during the national anthem, with players visibly crying and tears rolling down their cheeks. And then they come out, Denmark, against the team who for the last 3 years have been FIFA's world #1, and within 99 seconds they take the lead, and ever since then they've completely bossed the match, and it has been a real, show of strength here, of personal, mental strength for these Danish players. Everything they've gone through, they have managed somehow to turn this week into a positive, and they're playing the game of their lives down there.
I spoke about tactics in that they have they've trumped them so far, but hold on, they're on the attack again. But
Mela, this time tackled by Dries Mertens. But look, Mertens gives it away again. He cannot find a teammate, straight to Højbjerg.
But I'll try and simplify it as best as I can, Connor. Both teams are playing the same formation. When that happens, it's about individual battles. And Denmark wants it. It's as simple as that. They're winning all their individual battles. There's a bigger intensity towards every time they play. They win it back quicker. Their passing is slicker. So, although I am saying tactics, they just want it more, Connor.
No, you're right. There are 11 different one-on-one battles down there, and the Danes want it more. And sometimes there could be, you could almost win your first game too comfortably at a major tournament, and think, oh, this group stage is going to be easy. You start thinking, which semi-final are we going to be in? All these kind of things. I wonder if there has been a distraction for the Belgians, because they have not shown up at all. And absolutely the story, I think, today is Denmark and how they've responded. But what a story this is, that Belgium, we've seen teams like Italy look so good, the French have looked so good. Belgium are going to have to be much better than this if they're going to challenge for the title.
Maybe you are seeing now that the three players that have been missing, De Bruyne, Eden Hazard, Witsel, how key they are to this Belgium side. And perhaps you're right, you said about taking your eye off of this game. Martinez was speaking about getting minutes for certain players. That doesn't matter. Win this game.
You're only as good as your most recent game. And in this game, Belgium have been, frankly, terrible. They have had one attempt. That came in the 4th minute of the match. And even then, that was a half attempt. It was a ball into the penalty area flicked on. It wasn't a serious attempt at goal. Half-time is approaching in Copenhagen. Denmark lead Belgium by 1-0. Yusuf Poulsen with his 9th international goal. As another Belgian attempt of an attack breaks down, and Mail is able to clear the ball away, and that's going to trickle out for a throw-in on the far side. A throw-in to Belgium wearing their change strip of all white, but it's been the Danes in red who have had the hunger and the desire in this game so far.
You know what, Conor, I'm thinking here look, Denmark have been brilliant, and I've said that. I'm thinking now tactically in terms of Belgium. If I was him, Martinez, he's not going to do it because he plays the same shape. I'd go to a back four and I'd go 4-3-3 and I'd really change it up. And at half-time, I'd be ruthless. I'd be bringing on Hazard and I'd bring on De Bruyne and I'd change shape. Don't think he'll do that. But they're getting done down the sides too much, and they're not getting enough possession, and they're not looking the threat. So I don't think he will do that because they're still in the game. But I'd shift it to a 4-3-3.
1-0 Denmark here. Belgium under pressure. Earlier on we brought you Ukraine 2, North Macedonia 1. North Macedonia will be eliminated tonight if the Netherlands don't lose to Austria later on. Netherlands against Austria from Group C is an 8 o'clock kickoff here on 5 Live. Mela with more good defensive work on the left-hand side for Denmark is able to clear it away, and it's going to be a throw-in to Belgium close to the halfway line, right wing position for them. Tomorrow we start with Sweden against Slovakia. That is Group E from 2 o'clock. Croatia against the Czech Republic in England's group and Scotland's group at 5 p.m. And then the English and the Scots go head-to-head at Wembley. 8 o'clock kickoff. We'll be all over it all day on 5 Live tomorrow. On Saturday, Hungary play France. Portugal played Germany. What a game that's going to be. 5 o'clock kickoff. The Germans in real danger have been eliminated only 2 games into the tournament if they can't get a result there against Cristiano Ronaldo and company. And Spain are back in action and they need to be better. Spain against Poland in Group E. 8 o'clock tomorrow on Saturday on 5 Live. For the moment, Denmark 1, Belgium 0. Lukaku, ball at his feet, 10 yards outside the penalty area, tries to slip it in front of Carrasco, and it's another wayward pass. There's been 100 of those in this game so far for Belgium. Once again, they give the ball away, and once again, Denmark are able to come out of defence. Mind you, they do run it out of play for a throw-in there. Ball went off the pitch before coming back on again, so Belgium get a throw-in inside their opponent's half, and it's back with Jason Denayer on the halfway line. Denayer, who was on the books at Manchester City in his youth, never played a senior game for them. Doing well though at Lyon in more recent times. He was Lyon club captain this past season. He's on the ball again. It was his mistake that set up the opportunity for the very early Danish goal in this match. Jan Vertonghen, who's been playing alongside Nicolas Otamendi for Benfica this past season. They finished third in the Portuguese league. They got to the Portuguese Cup final, but they lost it to Braga. He's on the ball again, Vertonghen. Better clearance this time, up to the feet of Lukaku, who tries to turn Simon Kjær, and he's done well. And for the first time, Lukaku's able to shrug off the defenders. Now he's got support to the right, but it's a poor ball. That was an opportunity. Dries Mertens was in space, and Lukaku, it was almost like the ball got tangled up in his feet, and he was unable to release it. Mela's unable to clear away. Then there's a foul on Lukaku, and Belgium are going to get an attacking free kick here on the edge of the penalty area. That, for the first time, looked like Lukaku at his best.
Yeah, he did. He rolled there and got away from him, then got away from another player. The referee played advantage, and again he keeps going, and eventually they took him down. But that's when they're at their best with him, Lukaku. But we haven't seen enough of him, and that's because Denmark have really defended him well, in particular the captain, Kjær. But that's that bit of magic, that's the X factor I spoke about. You know, if Belgium are to get back into this game, they need to get it to him and get support around him though, Connor.
Well, you know, wouldn't it be just typical for Belgium, having been so woeful in this first half, to now nick an equaliser ahead of half-time? They've got this attacking free kick, Carrasco standing over it. Roberto Martinez will be hoping that the penny is going to drop for his team. Kasper Schmeichel lines up his defensive wall, standing by the post to his left-hand side. There's no decoy runner, it's just Carrasco standing over it. It's a long way out here. You would assume he will cross here. Here it comes, played in with a lot of pace, but too much height, and none of his teammates can get onto that. It's a waste. It sums up a poor Belgian performance in this first half. No pressure on the Danes there, and Denmark still lead Belgium 1-0.
Story of the half, isn't it, Connor, where unopposed delivery, poor, similar to how they've been playing in possession, unopposed giveaways, which led to the goal, it's been a story of the half.
Olsen's goal 1 minute 39 seconds into the game, and there has only been one official attempt on target from Belgium, as Kasper Schmeichel rattles his studs against the post. I mean, I guess coming up in his younger career, it's always difficult to be a son of a legend, you would imagine, and let's face it, that's absolutely what he is, the son of one of the greats in football. But Premier League winner now, FA Cup winner himself, first choice for his country for 7 years. I think Kasper Schmeichel's becoming a bit of a legend in his own right.
And by the looks of it, an absolute rock star of a human in the way he conducts himself. So he's got legendary status in my mind.
Yeah, handled the situation at Leicester when do you remember the helicopter crash? Yep. I thought he was very good throughout all that. Obviously what happened on Saturday, he was to the forefront of comforting Christian Eriksen's wife, and one of those true leaders, Kasper Schmeichel, a young man to be admired, as Mela attacks down the left-hand side for Denmark. How they would love a second goal to reward this first half performance. However, Højbjerg loses an impulsion on the edge of the penalty area. Chance of a breakaway for Belgium, but it breaks down. Of course it does. That's been the story of the game for them. Carrasco trying to counter-attack, but he couldn't pick out a pass to a teammate, and eventually he ran out of steam, and Denmark comfortably get it back. And their passing is sharper. Their intent is better as they come forward now with Braithwaite breaking into the penalty area. Chance of a left foot shot, and he's a right-footed player. It skews off his shin pad. It's an ugly effort in the end. Great build-up from Denmark. They'll be disappointed though with that finish from Martin Braithwaite. What a chance.
He looks so sharp down this right-hand side, and he's got, I said it from the get-go, he's got Vertonghen on toast. He really has. He cuts in onto his left foot in the penalty area, but he just kind of leaning back and doesn't get the right connection, and it goes wide. But he's a constant threat down this right-hand side with his pace and skill.
You know, in some respects, this isn't a flash of the pan from Denmark. OK, they lost to Finland at the weekend. However, you know, before that, I think they'd only lost 2 out of the previous 28 games that they've played. This is a good team, Denmark, and we're seeing them operating at an optimum level, and they are making life so difficult for the illustrious Belgians, as a very frustrated Romelu Lukaku makes his way into the penalty area here. It's an attacking throw-in, and Lukaku's just wondering, can these teammates of mine get me some better service?
I think the service will have to come on from the sub.
Mounier takes the throw-in. Back to Tielemans. So much has been backwards from Belgium in this first half as the referee blows the whistle for half-time, and listen to the roars in Copenhagen. It has been some week, some roller coaster from very low depths to very high heights, and Josef Poulsen's goal after 99 seconds here was a moment of pure elation. It was something to behold, and the atmosphere in this stadium has certainly helped Denmark. It has certainly been a hindrance to Belgium, and who knows where this game is going to go in the second half, Karen, but I can't wait for it.
Oh, it's going to be, again, electric in the second half, but what a start from Denmark, as you said. What a better way to start in a manner, aggressive, get the early goal and just to dominate the whole game. And this Belgium side, allegedly ranked #1 in the world, are playing like they're running in quicksand. You know, haven't turned up, been poor. But I think it's all about Denmark, and a credit to the staff and the team. What a start.
Well, this is what we want in major tournament football. Loads of colour, loads of emotion, loads of drama, a really good goal, and we've got one of the big boys struggling. It's going to be intriguing to see if Roberto Martinez can drum his team back into shape over the next 15 minutes. But we've the second half of this to come. It's Denmark 1, Belgium 0 for now.
Oh, Karen, the emotional intensity, the physical intensity of Denmark, given the circumstances as well, just full of admiration, I think.
Well, first of all, hi, Crossy.
Hello, you're right, sorry.
Hello. No, it's good to hear you. What a start, honestly. Goosebumps from the national anthem, then just like 2 minutes in, and then the emotion of the goal celebration, and then the performance. I mean, I just cannot believe what a team, Crossy. Literally, you know, if you're looking for role models and everything, what a team. Honestly, it's been a joy to watch them play. But then if I take out what's happened, which is difficult, and I look at it purely from a footballing perspective, Belgium have been shocking. They really have. But Denmark they've won all their individual battles. Belgium have been giving the ball away unnecessarily, and you see it in the goal. Denmark have been superb, and Belgium have been shocking.
You know what it is, Karen? It's just because I've been listening to you during the afternoon, so I just sort of assumed I'd been with you all day.
You're always with us. So the Five Live team we're always together.
Delighted to say we still have Jack Wilshere with us, and Jack's going to be with us all evening as well. Hi, Jack, you all right? Oh, sorry, we can't quite hear from Jack yet, but Christophe Terreur is with us. Christophe, what's going wrong?
A lot. We can't explain. Yeah, we can explain it. I think we... Usually we're always in control, and Denmark, all credit to them for the emotion in the game, for the aggressiveness, the dominance. They've been great. And Belgium, we don't have any control, and we're used to having lots of possession, and usually we don't get those kind of high pressing teams in qualifiers, even not in Nations League game, because we played Denmark twice and they didn't play this way. They just drew good lessons out of those games, and I think lacking two of your most important midfielders, that's the main issue, like guys who can play through a high press like Kevin De Bruyne and the calmness of Axel Witsel. I think you're missing them in this game. Guys who will take control, who are experienced, and our midfield has been shocking. Our defense hasn't been good. Our attackers have no service, but once they get the ball, they don't do anything well with it. So it's shocking. But on the other hand, it's maybe a good thing too that they're with both feet on the ground after the Russia game, where everybody thought, "Oh, we're gonna do this easily again. We're gonna walk through these group stages." No, it's not gonna be that easy. Definitely with a team that's been aging and missing like 3 important players.
Here's my question, Christophe, right? So how much do Belgium have experience recently of dealing with this kind of adversity? You know, they've been the #1 team in the world for something like 1,000 days, haven't they? So are they used to this? Will they know what to do? Will Roberto Martinez know what to do?
Well, we'll see, but we haven't experienced things like this since the World Cup in 2018. I think that's the thing with those qualifiers nowadays. You have groups with being the #1 of the world. You have an easy draw, and we've played England in the Nations League, but we've lost against England at Wembley. I was there. Were you there too, Steve, when we lost there? So there have been signs that against the bigger teams we get problems. Denmark in the Nations League, they were not good against us. I think in one of the games they only had one shot between the posts. Now you see they have multiplied that, and we haven't had a decent shot between the posts. I think only one. So it's the opposite world, but it's a good lesson, and I will see if those guys are ready to take a lesson out of that first half. But it's going to be difficult, definitely also because our big guns on the bench, De Bruyne, I think former players admit that too. That is not always easy after 2-3 weeks of injury, coming straight into a game where just nothing is going well for your team. So I would like to see. I think Kevin De Bruyne will come on at a certain point because they need him. They need his service. But how fit will he be after 3 weeks? After being 3 weeks on the sidelines?
Christoph, Karen and Connor, thank you very much, all of you, for the time being. We will have second half commentary, of course, to come from the Park and Stadium, which just looks absolutely incredible. And what these Denmark players have achieved just in that first half, in the circumstances, is incredible, really. And that goes for the supporters as well. Just an unbelievable atmosphere in Copenhagen. And Denmark, having lost, of course, to Finland in that opening game, at the moment they are getting back on track, and it would be maybe the shock result of the tournament so far. The world number one side, Belgium, behind to Denmark at half-time. We're going to hear from Andy Murray shortly, who was beaten by the top seed Matteo Berrettini in the second round at Queen's, and we'll also take you back to Royal Ascot after the latest news with Richard Foster.
Listen on BBC Sounds. This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
The public inquiry into the Manchester Arena attack has found that Salman Abedi should have been identified as a threat on the night it happened. The chairman, Sir John Saunders, says fewer people may have died if there'd been better security. 22 people were killed, including Martin Head, who was 29 and from Stockport. Here's his dad, Paul.
Today, our heartbreak turns to anger. We entrusted the safety of our loved ones into organisations and agencies who had a duty of care to protect them. This inquiry has rightly found that we were failed on every level.
The Mayor of Greater Manchester, Andy Burnham, says the report shows the country was underprepared for a terror attack outside London. He's welcomed its call for an overhaul of security laws at venues. Scientists think that giving COVID vaccines to over 18s will lead to a big reduction in cases. Researchers from Imperial College London think the number is roughly doubling every 11 days, driven by infections in younger people. There's been a sharp rise in the number of children in England who are entitled to free school meals. The figure increased by 420,000 to more than 1.7 million. 27% of pupils qualify in the northeast of England. Amanda Bailey is the director of the North East Child Poverty Commission.
We've consistently had the highest unemployment rate of the country, the second highest rate of child poverty and the steepest increase in child poverty pre-pandemic. That long-term systemic disadvantage that the North East has been affected by has been clearly significantly exacerbated by the last 12 months.
A company backed by Amazon's Jeff Bezos is going to build a nuclear fusion demonstration plant in Oxfordshire. It won't generate any power, but it'll be 70% the size of a commercial reactor. Fusion's the way the sun generates energy. It could become a much greener form of nuclear power. And a train which was trying to break the record for travelling between London and Glasgow has failed by just 21 seconds. The Avanti West Coast Pendolino arrived at Glasgow Central just before 2:30.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live. Listen live on digital, online, smart speaker or the BBC Sounds app.
The latest travel for you, the M6 in Cumbria, and one of the lanes is closed on the northbound side between Shap and Penrith, junction 39 to junction 40, and the A38M, so that's heading out of Birmingham northbound queues all the way from Dartmouth Circus to the M6 at Spaghetti Junction, junction 6. It's queuing there because of roadworks. They've got an extra lane normally and they haven't got that today, so reduced capacity is the cause. And the M40 in Oxfordshire, both directions have a lane closed between Bicester and Brackley, junction 9 to junction 10. It's for repairs taking place, but the queues are backing up along the A34 in Oxford. The M4 heading into London, junction 4 at Heathrow through to 3 at Hayes. Repairs were going on.
to welcome them. But if Kevin De Bruyne is coming on for the second half, well, that could be the exact tonic that Belgium need. If you weren't listening in our first half coverage, this was a much below performance, par performance from the Belgians. They need to be shaken from this slumber. And yes, there he is, number 7. Kevin De Bruyne is about to come on. Well, Karen, this could be what they need.
It is, and I'm sure if Robbie Savage was commentating, he'd be saying, I called it. But, you know, hope he's listening by the...
He's in Baku, he won't even hear that.
Devastated.
We'll send it to him.
But, no, it's exactly what Belgium need. They were hiding in possession. When they had possession, they were giving it away. They need some creativity because it was too predictable. Oh, I'm not going to lie, Robbie Savage is calling me, by the way. My phone is going off. Wow.
His monitoring service doesn't miss a trick, by the way.
No, it doesn't. Wow, he's everywhere. But it's exactly what's needed, Kevin De Bruyne, at the moment. There was just no spark, no creativity, and it was just too easy for Denmark, who were absolutely sensational in the first half.
Hang up, Robbie. We need Karen here, her full attention. About to get back underway in Copenhagen, and the change will be Dries Mertens, who was not involved at all in the first half, couldn't get in the game. He's the player who makes way. Kevin De Bruyne, first appearance at this tournament, first appearance since his face got smashed in that Champions League final, and they have had to nurse him and protect him and wrap him up in cotton wool. And however, in a situation like this, 1-0 down, away in Copenhagen against a Denmark team who are riding on a wave of emotion, well, there are a few better things to do than bring on one of the best players in the world, and Kevin De Bruyne is one of those. Let's see what difference he can make. The game is back underway. Belgium wearing all white, playing from left to right now in this second period. Denmark all in red, who scored after just 99 seconds at the start of the match. And can they get off to a similar good start at the beginning of this second period? I'll give a full rundown of the teams in just a moment, but tactically, Karen, what will De Bruyne do differently to Mertens? And presume he'll take up a different position as well.
Yeah, I'm just looking, is he playing more centrally? Because I think in the World Cup against Japan, I think Lukaku went out to the wing and he played more central. So I'm just seeing at the moment they haven't got the ball, so it's difficult to see what they are when they're in possession. But he's definitely playing either in that 10 role, pushing on, but he's definitely central.
9,
he's definitely central. So I'll just see how it pans out in the next couple of minutes.
You're right, Lukaku has drifted a bit to the right-hand side. So the teams, Denmark unchanged, Kasper Schmeichel, the goalkeeper. Ball played forward, will run through all the way to Courtois. Sorry, go on, Karen.
Yeah, no, because I'm just thinking now, in the first half, Lukaku played up against Kerr, and Kerr had the better of him. And so that was completely, they nullified each other there. So I think he has gone out to the right-hand side now, Lukaku, and he's going to play. He's going to play on that side, and I think De Bruyne is going to be that false 9, darting through the middle.
So Christensen, Kerr and Vestergaard, the 3 central defenders for Denmark. Daniel Vess and Joachim Mæhle are the wing-backs. Pierre-Emile Højbjerg alongside Thomas Delaney in the centre. And then Josef Poulsen, Mikkel Damsgaard and Martin Braithwaite are the front 3 for Denmark. They have possession at the moment. Down goes Højbjerg. Referee says it's not a foul on him. Play on as Belgium regain possession. The Belgian team now. Courtois, the goalkeeper. 3 central defenders, Alderweireld, Denayer and Vertonghen. The wing-backs are Thomas Meunier on the right, Thorgan Hazard on the left, Leander Den Donker alongside Yuri Tielemans in the middle, and then Lukaku wide right, Carrasco wide left, and Kevin De Bruyne operating for the moment as a false 9 through the middle. Possession with the Danes. Simon Kerr. Karen, put the phone down. We can talk to Robbie later.
No, I'm actually looking at the tactical side of it, and it is a common theme for Belgium, for Lukaku to go out.
Here's Delaney, being urged to shoot. He's a long way out. He catches it with power, but it's wide of the target. It's a goal kick to Belgium, but the first attempted goal from Denmark in this second half. They lead 1-0.
Yeah, look, he's unmarked Delaney and he's stepping onto it. Don't get out to him quick enough, Belgium. They're backing off and it opens up and he takes the shots. Just with his left foot, though, he just gets across it too much and sends it wide and not on target. But warning signs, it's good to see people constantly taking shots. If people back off, take the shot.
2 nations with a proud Euros history. Belgium were 3rd in 1972. They were beaten finalists in 1980. On both those occasions, they were beaten by West Germany. And of course they got to the quarterfinals of Euro 2016 and beaten by Wales. Here they attack with Carrasco on the left-hand side. Better run this time from him, but the same old story with the poor cross. Not a good delivery, straight to Andreas Christensen. And Denmark clear it away, only as far as Tielemans. 15 yards outside the penalty area. Floats it in. Mooney had made a good run. Terrible header, though. Excellent to get into the position, but he flicked his head too quickly. It hit the back of his skull, but at least it's a better build-up from Belgium. It's a goal kick to Denmark. 1-0 the Danes.
I think you hit the nail on the head there in terms of it's better build-up, but it's that final execution. And Roberto Martinez there giving his thumbs up to his team, but I do think the tactical change was needed. Lukaku going out wide because he was totally not in the game, and given De Bruyne, he'll go in that false nine, so he'll come and overload that midfield, because the midfield, they lost the battle the first half, and then he'll ghost forward and get into good positions, but straight away it's had a positive impact.
Belgium already look better. I mean, what team wouldn't look better bringing Kevin De Bruyne into it? But he's beginning to pull a few strings. He's passed up towards Lukaku. Denmark get it back again. Vestergaard, short to Mæhle, the left wing back, infield to Pierre-Emil Højbjerg, and then he lofts one over the top, which will be sprinted after by Martin Braithwaite. He headed it on for himself. Out comes Courtois to the edge of the penalty area. Nothing fancy from the Real Madrid goalkeeper. He just puts it out for a throw.
Again, I'm worried about the pace. When you're up against the tongue, and he's not coping well with the pace of Braithwaite, and any ball in behind, they look worrying, Belgium.
I wonder, was that part of the idea to bring Denayer into the team today? Because Boyata's a bit older. Obviously, Vertonghen and Alderweireld are well into their 30s. And Roberto Martinez was aware of the pace that Denmark have up front, but tactically, it's been questionable for the Belgians, as Denmark win a free kick here on the edge of the Belgian penalty area. Den Donker and Tielemans both trying to tackle Damsgaard. I think it's Tielemans who catches him, and that is going to be a free kick to Denmark. First half, Belgium only had one attempt, and since Roberto Martinez has been in the job, in only one other match, which was his first game in charge, did they ever had just one attempt in the first half of the match. It has been a very below par performance from Belgium. But now they've got De Bruyne, and don't forget, he's got more tricks up his sleeve. Eden Hazard could still be introduced as well, so this is an intriguing game to follow. We hope you're enjoying the commentary on 5 Live. 1-0 Denmark for the moment, and they've got their most dangerous set-piece position of the game so far. Daniel Vess is standing over it, Mikkel Damsgaard as well, edge of the area. Damsgaard hits it straight into the big burly Belgian wall, and I think that hit Lukaku on the forehead. It goes out for a throw-in. Not a bad free kick, but he needed a little bit more height. Just seeing the replay, it was Den Donker who headed it away.
Yeah, the wall did its job there. Right, Den Donker was brave. I definitely would have ducked out of the way of that. I was not in the wall, but did his job and blocked it, because that was a good shot that was hit.
Belgium regained possession. It's pumped along towards Romelu Lukaku. Denmark 1, Belgium 0. The Belgians can't hold on to the ball. Mæhle tries to attack down the left-hand side. Højbjerg, who had a very busy season with Tottenham, played every game in the Premier League for his new club this past season. Here he is in possession again, getting it back a few paces into the Belgian half. Denmark in red, Belgium in white. Damsgaard is having a good game, attacks the penalty. Oh, he's unlucky there. Just as Poulsen had checked his run, Damsgaard rolled it in front of him. Had Poulsen continued the run, he would have been in, clean through and goal as De Bruyne launches a good pass. Now, this is what Roberto Martinez wants to see. Lukaku bearing down on the penalty area, but shut down by Yannick Vestergaard. One-on-one, he makes the tackle, and the ball goes out of play, and it's a throw into the Belgians. Excellent tackle that needed to be.
The confidence of Lukaku's kind of worried me in this game. He doesn't look himself at all, and you think usually when he picks the ball up and it's a 1v1 situation, he's confident, and he didn't look confident in that there when he was attacking at the back line of Denmark.
Good game this to watch. You cannot take your eyes off it. The crowd glued to proceedings in a packed house in Copenhagen. There's Meunier's throw back towards Jason Denayer, whose mistake led to the opening goal after just 99 seconds for Yussuf Poulsen. Don't forget, we've more live football coming up later on tonight with the Netherlands against Austria. North Macedonia will be eliminated if the Netherlands don't lose that game. Here is Meunier on the right-hand side. Back into Alderweireld. Now Denayer in the centre circle. Belgium trying to create a rhythm that has so far eluded them this afternoon. Tielemans, who's had such a good time at Leicester. Can he bring out that kind of form? But he runs into a cul-de-sac there, just runs into an opponent, loses possession, and Denmark are able to clear it away back into the Belgian half.
It's been a lot better from Belgium since the shift of shape and bringing Hazard, Kevin De Bruyne on. I said Hazard because they're still missing X factor. Lukaku's not on it, and without that, I don't see the spark just yet. I think De Bruyne will grow into the game, but we're questioning how fit is he, how sharp is he. So they're just still missing that X factor.
Better though as Tielemans plays it forward, tries to scoop it, but Simon Kjær wins his header. It's still not producing the end product, Belgium, but at least the little build-up touches are looking more assured now. They were all over the place in the first half. The rudimentary elements of the game were abandoning them, but at least there is now some shoots of recovery for Roberto Martinez's team. And remember, they're only 1-0 down. This could all change in the blink of an eye. De Bruyne has certainly made an improvement. Here he is, laying the ball off towards Lukaku, and he gets the pass through. Vestergaard tries to tug the shirt. Lukaku's away, hurdles around Simon Kjær into the penalty area, pulls it back. De Bruyne, one touch to control. Brilliant from De Bruyne! He lays it back, and it's put into the net by Torgan Hazard. That was world class from Kevin De Bruyne. That is what Belgium have been missing today at Copenhagen. And you give them one chance, they've the quality to absolutely punish anyone. Lukaku was so strong in the build-up, but Kevin De Bruyne, wow, that simply oozed quality. Denmark 1, Belgium 1.
Wow, I was looking for X factor, and boy, did Belgium deliver that. The big players at the big moment stepped up, and Lukaku, he just absolutely, the confidence was back in that run. He was driving with the ball, he knew what he was going to do. He picks out Kevin De Bruyne in the 18-yard box, and Kevin De Bruyne, he takes a touch, and you're thinking he's going to take the shot, and he doesn't, and he pulls it across to Hazard, and he taps it in, and he was not going to miss from there, Torgan Hazard. But look, it was brilliant play from the two stars, Lukaku and Kevin De Bruyne. And look, what a goal, back in the game now.
Torgan Hazard, who so often has to live in the shadow of his famous brother, but he gets the goal, frankly, teed up for him that he could not miss by Kevin De Bruyne. I just want to paint the picture for the listeners at home. When the ball was pulled back by Lukaku in the penalty area, what it actually reminded me was, do you remember that famous title-winning goal by Sergio Aguero against Queen's Park Rangers those years ago, where Aguero shaped to shoot but actually took a touch, and that composure in that moment created that eternal celebration for Manchester City. It was like that from De Bruyne. He gets the ball, many players would have just shot, he took a touch, then many players would shoot, and he had the awareness to pull it back for Hazard. That was world class from Kevin De Bruyne. As here come Denmark down the other side. Going to be interesting to see how they react. Braithwaite will win a corner here. His cross from the right is blocked out. The crowd still behind Denmark. 1-1, but what a game it is now.
Oh, it's really shifting now. Again, Braithwaite, he's causing problems against Vertonghen with his pace. This time Vertonghen gets across and he gets it, kicks it out for a corner, but it's still a threat. They need to protect Vertonghen a lot more, Belgium, because he's getting exposed and he's got away with it so far, but I still am really worried about it down that side.
Daniel Vass is the player placing the ball for the corner. His 32nd cap. He's had a tough season in Spain as Valencia finished 13th in La Liga, their lowest finish since 1988. He's ready to take this corner. All the Danish fans are on their feet down that end as they wait for the delivery, which is rolled short. Now, can it be played into the middle? It's Damsgaard who hoists it in. Tall Vestergaard jumps and does win the header, but well cleared away by Vertonghen, and Belgium were able to clear it up towards Kevin De Bruyne. Now there's been a foul on Daniel Vass by Torgan Hazard. The Belgian players are not happy with this. I think they feel that was a 50-50 challenge and both players went in for it, but the free kick is going to be for Denmark, and it's midway inside the Belgian half.
Oh, what a game, Connor. What a game. And just going back to your description of Kevin De Bruyne's goal, and that's the difference of world-class players. When everything is going frantic around them, they have the composure, the calmness, the cool head to think someone's just going to smash at that and have the shot, and he just picked out that pass. But now it's about how did Denmark respond? You know, is this going to go on and again galvanise them? Or is it Belgium going to bring on more subs? And how is it going to affect them?
Free kick to Denmark, midway inside the Belgian half. Central location, Daniel Vaz to take again. Rehearsed move, rolls it short for Højbjerg. Now he hoists it into the box. Header won by Vertonghen, falls down for Thomas Delaney. He tries to shoot right-footed, but it's smothered away. And now Lukaku, who's found a new lease of life since De Bruyne's come on, hurdles over one challenge and then is taken down by Daniel Vaz. And then there's another foul, and that's definitely going to be a free kick to Belgium. But it's also going to be a yellow card for Vaz, who I actually think committed 2 fouls in quick succession there. And it's a free kick to Belgium, but that's a booking for the Valencia man.
Look, there's a threat now to Belgium that wasn't there in the first half, and it's the change. You know, putting Lukaku on that right-hand side, getting him away from Kerr because he had the better of him in the first half. He's taken that away, Roberto Martinez, put him on that side, and he can get at him 1v1, and then Kevin De Bruyne just roaming, and now they're making another sub.
It's the first booking of the game for a match that's been played at 1,000,000 miles an hour. Eden Hazard comes on in place of Yannick Carrasco. And Belgium are flexing their muscles here. Axel Witsel, who hasn't played since January for clubber country, also comes on. So they've got Lukaku, they've got De Bruyne, they've got Witsel, they've got Eden Hazard. They are back on level terms, and we're all being reminded of just how strong this Belgian squad is. On a day that started terribly for them, it could still end up being a successful afternoon.
I'd say this is now what he would want on paper, his strongest team. Would be his team if they were all fit and all available and flying. Witsel, he's so key to this Belgium side. Yes, he's been out since January, but if you listen to the manager, Martinez, he's constantly, he's the key man, Perhaps not at times Lukaku, perhaps not at times Hazard, but now they're all on. They're going for it now, Belgium, and it's how Denmark respond.
Yeah, confirmation it was Den Donker who's made way for Axel Witsel. Witsel, who plays in Dortmund these days, like Carrasco. He had 2 years in China, but 32 years of age now, and very much a firm favourite of Roberto Martinez, who has insisted that he would be in the squad despite not playing because of injury since January. But let's see if he can give a bit more steel to the midfield as Poulsen plays the ball away from Witsel. Now Eden Hazard for the first time gets a touch. Instantly he's got quick. Oh, that's great to watch from Eden Hazard. He just bounced it off his right toe, left toe, and he found himself some space. And now Kevin De Bruyne returns it to Eden Hazard. It's a different game now. This is a different beast from Belgium, and Denmark must be looking up at the clock and realising there is still such a long time to go. A half an hour to play in Copenhagen, and they've given so much already, Denmark. Can they possibly keep it up for the remainder of this game, Karen?
And that's it. You know, we talk about emotions before the game, and they literally came out the trap so fast, Denmark, and the first half they were sensational. And I spoke to you, didn't I, in the break, thinking, can they keep this up? Will the fatigue start to hit them? But you know, it doesn't help though when Belgium bring on their top players. And you know, I mentioned Witsel, didn't even mention Eden Hazard that's come on. You know, the impact, the feet, I think he's looked the sharpest he has done in the last probably year or so. To bring him on again, they've got their star players on the pitch now, Belgium.
Breaking play. We've just seen a replay on our monitors of the Thorgan Hazard goal, the equaliser for Belgium. Super goal. I mean, Lukaku at his powerful best there. Simon Kjær comes across and he's almost like, I'll take a card here, I am just going to trip him, and he wasn't able to do that. The power, the pace of Lukaku, and then he wasn't greedy. He pulled it back to Kevin De Bruyne, who just operates on a different matrix than the rest of it. The whole world went slow for him, and he was able to, you know, slow motion glide it into Thorgan Hazard. Fantastic. That's one of the best team goals of the tournament.
Yeah, I completely agree. I don't think I've seen one better. And again, you know, we spoke about individual battles in the first half, and when you've got quality players like that to come on, they're going to make a difference.
Yeah, I mean, look, and obviously Sheik had a brilliant goal against the Scots, but that's an individual goal. This was teamwork, and they ran it in the end. Excellent stuff. Right, there's been a change for the Danes, and they've needed this. They've needed just a little injection of fresh blood and a little bit of energy in there, because it's been very tough. Jens Støyer will come on, who plays in Italy with Udinese. He's been linked with a move to Watford for next season. So he comes on as they try to keep Belgium at bay, but talk about a game of two halves. Denmark thoroughly dominated the first 45 minutes, but Belgium have come out and really flexed their muscle in the second half. Norgard and Støyer have both come on for the Danes, who have possession, with Mæhle on the left-hand side. Right-footed cross from him into a busy penalty area, and good awareness of Thorgan Hazard. He allows it to bounce and he shepherds it out of play, and just those little adjustments. Belgium are so calm now, and it's almost like they were wobbling in the first half, but now they've got their feet planted firmly on the ground. Vass went off for Stoya to come on, and Poulsen, the goal scorer, is the man who has departed to allow Norgard onto the pitch. 5 Live from the BBC. Euro 2020, Group B, a day of high emotion in Copenhagen, the scene of those distressing images on Saturday, but Christian Eriksen's okay. If you weren't with our coverage in the first half, Belgium put the ball out after 10 minutes in celebration of the Danish number 10, and everyone, players, referees, crowd, everyone applauded inside the Copenhagen stadium. And Christian Eriksen very much at the forefront of everyone's mind. By that stage, Denmark were already 1-0 up in the match. But it's been a different story in the second half. Roberto Martinez has brought on the big guns, and boosted by that heavy artillery, we are now seeing the Belgium we expected.
Absolutely, you know, first half, I literally don't know what Belgium team turned up. Well, I do, it was one on the bus, but the second half, it's been completely different. And when you've got the top quality players, I keep mentioning X Factor, and, you know, Hazard, De Bruyne, they have that, and that's the difference, especially in tournament football. You know, like I keep saying, teams can defend, they're organised, but it's the star players that just do it in big moments, and that magic. And you described it about Kevin De Bruyne in slow-mo. That's why he's one of the world's best. So he can do things that nobody else can do.
He is the only European player now to have assisted a goal in each of the last 4 major tournaments. He's taking a corner here from the right-hand side. Really good delivery. It flashed close to Lukaku, and Denmark relieved to get it out of the penalty area. Witsel shields the ball, allows it roll back to Thomas Meunier. And now a pass that's a bit high risk towards Kevin De Bruyne, but a good acceleration from De Bruyne, and he gets there ahead of Højbjerg. And that was an example of, in the first half, that would have given possession away, but now they've rolled up their sleeves. They've got more composure, Belgium, and even when a pass isn't perfect, they're able to keep it alive.
But even the sharpness of De Bruyne there, he's been out with his injury, you know, and the pass was short, and the sharpness to get there, get it back for his side. It looks like he's, perhaps the injury is actually giving him a bit of rest. He looks fresh.
Belgium had more shots in the opening 15 minutes of the second half than they did in the entire opening 45 minutes. 1-1, 5 Live for the BBC. And we've got the Netherlands against Austria to come later on tonight. We've got England against Scotland tomorrow night. All the build-up right from 5 Live breakfast in the morning from 6 a.m. And it is going to be a very emotional day. It is going to be a very exciting day, and we will be across it all on 5 Live. Courtois comes out of his penalty area for Belgium, and the Danes, the high press, the energy in the first half, that has deserted them now. They're sitting in for the siege. I think, Karen, if you offer them the 1-1 draw now, Denmark would take it.
Oh, 100% they would. The possession stats, I haven't seen them, but I'm guessing it's heavily now in favour of Belgium. But I think the big difference is staying away from the Danish captain, Kjær. I think he's so influential for them. You know, he's marking no one because De Bruyne is going into that false 9 and Lukaku's moved to the right-hand side. And in the first half, he was winning everything against Lukaku, and it just, the confidence of the Danish side was growing, and then it was kind of sapping then from Belgium because they had no answers. And he's so key, the captain of Denmark. You know, we've seen him off the pitch, but he's having nothing to do because no one's around him, and that's been a big tactical change that's worked in the favour of Belgium.
1-1 in Copenhagen. Still a quarter of the match to go. If Belgium can score again and win the match, they will be through to the knockout stages with a game to spare. But they've been given a real scare here by a determined Denmark in the first half. And can the Danes summon that energy again? Here's little Damsgaard nipping in along the edge of the penalty area, tries to dink one into the box, but it breaks down, and Eden Hazard picks it up, and he's looked sharp since coming on. He's fouled, but not until after he released a pass to Kevin De Bruyne. Hazard back up at his feet. De Bruyne shows he is human with a pass that's overcooked towards Lukaku, and it goes out of play for a throw into the Danes.
Do you know what? I'm like going to admit now, it's horrendous, you know, commentary from me, because in the first half, Belgian players gave it away, but when Kevin De Bruyne does it, I'm like, oh, yeah. I kind of forgive him because he is human. But I'm sure he'll pick out a wonder pass in the next one.
Well, it is a different proposition for the Danes now. Hazard, of course, it's Thorgan Hazard who scored the goal, but Eden Hazard has come on. Lukaku has found New pocket of space. I mean, you've got to credit Roberto Martinez. He shifted the position. He moved Lukaku out from that centre-forward location to the right wing, and it has given him the space he needed as De Bruyne tries to pick a pass through to Lukaku there, and it's just about intercepted by Christensen, and Denmark are able to come away with possession. They're still inside their own half. Joachim Mähle on the left-hand side feeds it up to Pierre-Emil Højbjerg on the halfway line. Back now behind him to Christensen. Belgium have got everyone back in defensive position. It's up to the Danes to try and break them down. Remember, Denmark lost their opening game, so they really need to take something from this one to keep it exciting for them going into the last day. As Thomas Delaney turns, rolls it back to Simon Kjær. Played that real leadership role during the Christian Eriksen drama on Saturday. Up now to Striker. And Mähle will break into the penalty area left-hand side. He's done well to elude Witsel. It's on his right boot and he hits it powerfully, but straight at the goalkeeper, and Courtois makes the save. Now, this one was strange. Jens Støyer came in and got in a tussle with Courtois. There was no need for that. Not sure what the Danish player was trying to achieve there. I mean, you're never going to get away with challenging a goalkeeper like that. Anyway, play continues.
I think he was just trying to slow it. As soon as Courtois had the ball, he wanted to throw it out quickly, and he was trying to stop it.
And that was good play by Christian Norgard, who's looked bright since coming on. He's won it near the halfway line. He's given it up to Damsgaard. Ball into the penalty area. Mähle beaten to it by Jason Denayer, but then Denayer gives it away, and down he goes. A penalty appeal. Damsgaard hits the deck. Denmark want a penalty, but it's not. It's going to be a yellow card for a dive. Mikkel Damsgaard is adjudged to have done some simulation there, and it is not a penalty. It is a yellow card. I'm sure VAR will look at it in the background anyway, but Mikkel Damsgaard booked for diving.
Yeah, and it's disappointing because it's such a dive and he's done so well this whole game. The referee is literally 5 yards away from him. It's embarrassing to do that, I have to say that.
Excellent positioning from Bjorn Kuipers. He is so close to the action there. He had such a good view of that. And Mikkel Damsgaard, yeah, it's not, look, on a day that, I think we've all been proud from a distance of how Denmark have composed themselves in emotional circumstances. That was poor. Damsgaard clearly trying to cheat to win a penalty as the ball is played forward towards Lukaku. Simon Kjær is the defender. Little chest down onto his instep by the big Belgian Lukaku, but he's been shepherded out towards the corner flag on the right-hand side. Vestergaard got back to help Kjær, but still Lukaku goes. He's got around two of them. He went out to the corner flag and came back in again. This is brilliant from Lukaku. A chance for Kevin De Bruyne, and he scores! Belgium from 1-0 down have turned it around. It's the Kevin De Bruyne show. He has turned this game on his head. His introduction has been a revelation, and Belgium now lead in Copenhagen. Denmark 1, Belgium 2. Kevin De Bruyne set one up. He's now scored the second.
Oh, wow. What a goal. But can I just say, he's not celebrated Kevin De Bruyne. He's gone straight over to the Denmark crowd and kind of played it down, didn't celebrate. Pure class. But talk about the goal. It's again Lukaku and Kevin De Bruyne. Lukaku jinxes past 2, 3, 4 players, using his strength, skill, power, passes it out wide, and they get it out. One more pass out to Kevin De Bruyne, who's running in late, unmarked, on the edge of the 18-yard box. Doesn't take a touch. It's a first-time left-footed shot. Completely catches Schmeichel off guard, and it's just low, it's driven, it's into the bottom corner, and Schmeichel's not stopping that, no chance. And that's the difference. Lukaku, Kevin De Bruyne, pure class. 2-1 to Belgium, completely different game.
The quality of the two Belgium goals has been immense. De Bruyne very sportingly not celebrated the goal as Karen describes. He knows what an emotional week it has been for the Danes, and that roller coaster, the highs, the lows, they haven't got off the ride yet, and the high of scoring after 99 seconds has been dampened by this second half performance. First Torgan Hazard 10 minutes into the second half, now Kevin De Bruyne, who set up the first goal, who has scored the second, and we can't praise Lukaku enough for his involvement in the build-up to both goals as well. I mean, his stock was low when he left Manchester United, Lukaku, but he has been turned around by Antonio Conte at Inter, and that was brilliant from Lukaku. So many players, they go out to the corner flag, and that's the end of the attack. He had the wherewithal to turn around, beat two players, and just when Denmark thought they could clear down the other end, bang, it's in the back of their own net.
But I think it's all to do with Martinez. He's changed. The confidence was just zapping the first half from Lukaku, because Kerr was just bullying him. And I don't think I've ever said that about Lukaku, but he was bullied in the first half, shifted him out to the right-hand side and brought on Kevin De Bruyne and relieved some of that pressure from Lukaku, and his confidence started to grow and grow.
Here they come again, the Belgians. Out comes Kasper Schmeichel. Did well to get there ahead of Eden Hazard, and he clears it away with his feet from outside the penalty area, but that was another dangerous opportunity. There's been a change for Denmark, by the way. Matthias Jensen, who we know from Brentford well, has come on. He's replaced Thomas Delaney in the midfield. Matthias Jensen will be a Premier League player next season after Brentford's promotion. He came on as a sub for Christian Eriksen in those distressing circumstances on Saturday. Now he's on in place of Delaney, a game that Denmark for so long led 1-0, but now they trail 2-1. This has been such a good watch, and this has got a global audience all around the planet. People will be tuning into this. This is what we love from major tournament football. There has been such good quality. Denmark were brilliant in the first half, but Belgium have been even better in the second.
It literally is a tale of first half, second half, complete difference, and I do feel for Denmark. I really do. I think the energy, they came out of the trap so well, and then the second half, it's just a case of just bringing on quality in Kevin De Bruyne and changing it tactically, and just big players make such a big difference, Connor.
Some of Hazard's touches, Eden Hazard's touches since coming on, have been so graceful to watch. He looks, his body language is different to every other player. He's so graceful in possession. He just eludes opponents almost without breaking a sweat.
Yeah, and we spoke about giving possession away in the first half from Belgium, and what they've done is Kevin De Bruyne is coming on as an extra midfielder, and Eden Hazard, he comes in as well. So there's like 4 or 5 players now in that centre midfield, and Denmark aren't really coping with that, and now they're just keeping the ball. So again, I just can't praise the tactical swift change from Martinez.
Yeah, it's been really good. Hazard tried a dummy there, which didn't fool Andreas Christensen, so Denmark will come forward on the right hand side. Ball played into the penalty area. Jensen just done. Braithwaite, shot on target, saved by Courtois. That's Courtois' best save of the game. The Barcelona striker had that on target. There was decent power on it. Courtois of Real Madrid stretching, using his tall frame, and pushes the ball away from danger.
Look, it's a brilliant ball into Cornelius, and he just sets it back. It's a great chested set back to Braithwaite, who takes the shot, and again, it's a fantastic save there.
Here come Belgium, it's end-to-end now. Denmark are pushing at one end. Belgium counter-attacking, excellent tackle, Kerr on Lukaku. The loose ball falls to De Bruyne, and he does shoot on target, but this time he doesn't have the power, and Kasper Schmeichel makes the save. This is a great watch now. Denmark had thrown the kitchen sink at an equaliser, and that's leaving gaps which then these talented attacking Belgians can exploit. There'll be more goals here, Karen, there must be. Quarter of an hour to play.
Wow, you just can't take your eye off this game. It is unbelievable.
Cornelius, who's come on, a name who might be familiar to our listeners, had an unsuccessful spell at Cardiff when he was just a 20-year-old, but he's a different calibre of player now. He plays in Italy these days at Parma. He's on loan from Atalanta. He's on what is his first major tournament. Can they provide an opportunity for Andreas Cornelius? Can Denmark get back on level terms? At times they have been the better team today, but at other times Belgium have been the better team, and with the introduction, it's like if you had a kids match and then suddenly Belgium's older brothers came along and they got joined in as well, and it's a whole different story now. De Bruyne, Hazard, they've made it different. They're getting the best out of Lukaku. Here comes Braithwaite though, breaks into the penalty, shoots, left-footed, blocked away by Alderweireld. Tell you what, Denmark aren't giving up here. They have found a second wind, and these substitutes that they've brought on, Jensen, Cornelius, Striker, they have given them new energy.
They have, and again, Braithwaite, he's been brilliant. He really has. He's been positive. He drives into the penalty area. They haven't really stood up to him. He's gone for the shot, and it's a sliding tackle, and it's gone out for a corner, but you're right, they're definitely not giving up.
Corner to Denmark. Again, all the fans are on their feet. No one sitting on the chairs in Copenhagen. Here comes the delivery, floated in extremely high. Vestergaard gets up and wins the header. Courtois off his goal line, looked to have been fouled. He ends up on the deck. The ball was cleared away anyway, and the referee is going to stop play, not because he felt it was a foul on Courtois, but because 2 players are now lying on the ground inside the 6-yard box, and they are concerned in case there's an injury that needs to be dealt with there. And I think the referee's probably in the circumstances done the right thing, because the ball was cleared away anyway. But big Vestergaard, we know how tall he is from Southampton, and it was a collision. Cornelius and Courtois, Kerr and Courtois slamming into each other as we get to see a replay of that wonderful tackle from Simon Kjær down the other end a few moments ago when he denied Lukaku.
Kjær is absolutely unbelievable. He, again, I talk about the shift in change. It's because Belgium have just stayed away from him because he's that good. You know, in the first half he was sensational, and then the second half there with that tackle, wow. Yeah, I thought Lukaku was in. He just slides in, reads it so well. What a player.
Courtois continuing to receive treatment. If you're joining our coverage here, what a game this has been. What an absolute joy to be witnessing this. Denmark 1, Belgium 2, the scoreline, but that doesn't tell the half of it. Really emotional scenes before kickoff. Danish players crying, tears rolling down their cheeks during the national anthems. A full house today in Copenhagen, and such emotion. Huge number 10 shirt on the pitch ahead of kickoff for Christian Eriksen, and a goal after just 99 seconds for Yusuf Poulsen to put the Danes in front. Then the Belgians, after 10 minutes, stopped the game. They kicked it out and they applauded for Christian Eriksen. Really lovely scenes to watch. And Denmark, we thought they were going to score a few more goals in that first half. Such was their dominance, such was the unsettled beginning to the match of Roberto Martinez' Belgium. However, changes made at half-time. Introduction of Witsel and of De Bruyne, and it's been a different kettle of fish. Eden Hazard on for Belgium, and they are now bossing the game. Courtois is back up at his feet. We can get back underway. Denmark 1, Belgium 2. We are strapping ourselves in for the big finish here. There are 12 minutes to play in Copenhagen. There'll be a bit added on for the stoppages too. Long ball pumped forward. Lukaku wins it in the air, but that goes back to Kasper Schmeichel. Denmark have to go for this, having lost the opening game, Karen.
Yeah, they do. You know, I'm just trying to see what shape they're going to. I think Braithwaite's trying to play a little bit closer to Cornelius now, because they need to start getting that link up. Cornelius will set it back. Braithwaite's got the pace to try and get them back, and they're going to try and push Belgium back. They're already going into that 5 now, not a 3. They're really pushing them back.
What a cameo it's been from Kevin De Bruyne, who's on the ball at the moment. Left wing for Belgium, drags the ball under his studs. Then he's playing with such flamboyance. He flicked it onto Eden Hazard, who did a rainbow kick. This is ridiculous stuff. This is Harlem Globetrotters. I always mix that up when I say it. Harlem Globetrotters, guys. It's the fancy flicks, it's the tricks. Ridiculous stuff for Belgium. You swear they were 3-0 up, not in a game that they looked set to lose at half-time. This is remarkable, but it's all been about De Bruyne for me. He's become the first player to score and assist as a second-half substitute at a Euros since the 2012 final. You might remember Fernando Torres came on for Spain and he did that against Italy. He's been brilliant to watch De Bruyne here. And the party pieces are coming out for Belgium now. They believe they've got this game under control. Have Denmark got anything in them to try and come back and get that equaliser? Alderweireld gives it back to Denier. Over the halfway line it comes. Thorgan Hazard to Kevin De Bruyne, and it's keep ball now. And this is a complete mirror image to the scenes in the first half when Belgium couldn't put 2 passes together. Now they are frustrating the Danes by keeping ball as Alderweireld spins away from the attentions of Matthias Jensen. He plays it down the right wing towards Lukaku, and then the ball, it's a foul by Lukaku on Vestergaard. It's a free kick to the Danes, and they can't get it down the other end quick enough.
Well, yeah, I think now Belgium are just going to be happy to try and sit back and defend and hit them on the counter-attack, because they've got to go for it, Denmark, as you said.
Ooh, Courtois slides out of the penalty area, but he didn't handle it. He went down to grab it with his hands. His momentum brought him out of the box. As soon as he realised that was happening, he moved his hands away for it. He sort of chested it on the ground out of the penalty area, and the ball goes down the other end and out of play. And this yellow card is going to be shown here as the Dutch referee Bjorn Kuipers comes across. I mean, it's been a game that's been played at such a competitive nature. There's not been much nasty stuff at all, but Matthias Jensen is the latest to be shown yellow, that for the deliberate foul on Lukaku. And Tillemans, my apologies.
Yeah, look, he was just getting away there, but just looking again at the Courtois chance where we thought he may have handled it outside of his box. He didn't. He was smart enough to release the ball as he slid out. I'm just thinking now, I think Braithwaite, he's going to be the one for me that's going to make a difference for Denmark to get them back into this game. They've got to go for it. They've got nothing to lose. They've really got to push forward and try and find that energy. I know it's difficult, and especially given the circumstances they've been through.
What they've been through, the emotion that they've been through, the ecstasy of scoring so early in this game, the heartache of seeing the quality of Hazard and De Bruyne come on and set up goals for Belgium. And now with a Belgian player down and needing some treatment, the boos around the stadium in Copenhagen are because they feel Belgium are wasting time now. It is Torgan Hazard, scorer of Belgium's first goal in the game, set up by Kevin De Bruyne. The referee is saying, OK, if you're hurt, that's fine, but go off the pitch if you're hurt. You can't delay the game any further.
He's like, get off. He's like literally pointing him, get off. But yeah, I think Denmark now just tactically looking and thinking, how can we get ourselves back in this game? You see Kasper Hulman there talking to his rest of his staff. How can we get back into this game, he's asking.
Warm day in Copenhagen, but Roberto Martinez looks cool as a cucumber in his smart fitted suit. He's just screwed the top off a bottle of water, taken a swig.
He wasn't in the first half.
Absolutely not.
He was not first half.
It has worked out well for Belgium today, but I think, I actually think this will serve them well in the tournament. Had they come and just blown Denmark away today, they might have become a bit cocky. This will keep them grounded how they were troubled in the first half, and yet it will keep them confident that they know they've got the strength and depth of squad. Ball given away here though. Mela, chance for Cornelius to cross from the left hand side. Braithwaite was a whisker away. Oh, so close to 2-2. Excellent cross, Cornelius, and he slid in like Gaza at Euro 96. He's giving every sinew here as the ball is drilled in front of him. Braithwaite stretches. He just can't get there. Any touch at all and Denmark would have been level.
That is an unbelievable cross from Cornelius. It's one of them that defenders hate it because they're scared it's going to go in and it's a centre forward's dream. But literally Braithwaite, he just couldn't get there. He just couldn't get there quick enough. But wow, what a ball in from Cornelius. There's still belief in this team, in this Denmark team.
Right, they're
still a chance.
They're going to edge it up another notch now. Vestergaard, the defender, is sacrificed. Andreas Sko Olsen will come on, plays in Italy with Bologna. He's a striker. So they've now got Cornelius and Braithwaite, and they've got Norgard, and they've got Skov Olsen, and they want to go and make it 2-2 Denmark, because at the moment they're staring back-to-back defeats at Euro 2020 in the face, despite playing both games on home soil. Kevin De Bruyne, who's been great to watch since coming on. Back to Axel Witsel, who's, very unshowy, unfussy compared to De Bruyne and Hazard. You hardly notice him, but he's made a difference too. Just that presence, you can tell the Belgian teammates are delighted to have him back in the midfield.
It's just experience. First half they couldn't pass to one of their teammates, but he just comes on, and what Hazard does is he holds on to the ball. He'll take a touch, he'll take it under pressure, and he just relieves it, and the confidence then grows within the side.
Lovely touch there from Højbjerg to release the ball with a little makeshift back heel to Matthias Jensen. Braithwaite attacks down the left-hand side for Denmark, hangs it across too close to Courtois, who had anticipated that. He was already moving off his goal line, and he's able to gather it. And just a reminder, we've talked a lot about the attacking Belgian players. They do have one of the best goalkeepers in the world as well.
They do, but you know what, Braithwaite, he's been a constant threat the whole game. If he can do what they've just done the last 2 minutes or so, get the ball in wide areas, get crosses in. They've got Cornelius on the pitch now. He's a physical presence. They just need to keep putting Belgium under pressure and pinning them back, and it's going to come down from the sides. Get the crosses into the box.
Been some story here. You'll hear all about it in the Daily Euros tomorrow, which will pop up if you subscribe on BBC Sounds. Of course, that will also contain all the build-up to England against Scotland from Wembley. It's a really big game in the group stages tomorrow. We'll be building up to it on 5 Live Breakfast from 6 a.m. Cross into the penalty area by Mela, who's had a storming game for Denmark. Headed away by the Belgian defence. This is Norgard, who's been really good since coming on. Swivelling on the edge of the penalty area. Needs an outlet. Stoyer's available on the right-hand side. He's the right wing-back, though they have gone to 4 at the back now since Vestergaard has gone off. But they've still kept the wing-backs. It's just 2 at the back now for Denmark. It has to be. They're staring back-to-back defeats in the face, and it's remarkable, Karen, if they end up losing it, I still think they'll get heroes welcome from their fans for their performances. It's a funny situation that they could lose 2 games back-to-back, and yet everyone in Denmark will feel they've done their team so proud. Here's a ball into the penalty area, cleared away by Torgan Hazard, not very convincingly, mind you, and it's going to be picked up here by Skov Olsen. He's crossed into the middle, and they've hit the crossbar. Braithwaite with the header that clips the bar. You cannot get closer to an equaliser than that. Courtois was nowhere near it. Brilliant work in the build-up by Andreas Sko Olsen, who's just come on. His cross was perfect. Martin Braithwaite's header was almost perfect. It's hit the corner of the stanchion of the post and the crossbar. You cannot get much closer than that.
Connor, I thought that was it. I thought that was the equaliser. I jumped up and I got cramp, I'm not going to lie. But what a chance. Olsen comes on, he does magic, good feet. And I talked about it, get crosses into the box, gets the cross in, and there's the main man, Braithwaite. He's been sensational the whole game, gets up, wins his individual battle, gets a good head on it. It's just hits the crossbar. There's belief that there's another opportunity for sure for Denmark.
They are running out of time rapidly, though. 3 minutes to play. Denmark had a great spell for half an hour in this second half, but Belgium, I'm saying, but Denmark have now found that second wind. They've had a few chances now. Braithwaite's been really good. Cornelius has been excellent since coming on, as Vertonghen plays it forward to Belgium, but it's straight to Stoyer on the right-hand side, and the Danes, dressed all in red, urged on by their capacity crowd in Copenhagen. It's great to have full houses back in football again. Listen to the noise of the Danish fans sing. This is 5 Live from the BBC. This game almost all over. Can there be a last hurrah for the Danes? Mathias Jensen to the edge of the penalty area. Højbjerg tries to shoot. Denier blocks it. Sits up for Cornelius. His shot is blocked by Vertonghen. Then there's appeals for a handball. It's appeals by the defenders. They think that Cornelius handled it. Play on, says the referee, as Skovaldsen tries to find the room for a cross, and he can't, and it goes out of play, and Denmark remain on the attack. They've got a throw in level with the edge of the penalty area. This ain't over yet.
And don't forget, the crowd are really urging them on now. There's definitely momentum going in their favour. Can they make it count?
You can imagine the scenes in the hospital in Copenhagen, and watching on Christian Eriksen from his hospital bed. He'll be urging his team to get the equaliser here. Mela has possession just near the centre circle. It's all hands on deck for Belgium now. They're back defending. Braithwaite tries to slip one in for Andreas Skovaldsen, but it's intercepted, and Belgium get it away. The goalkeeper Courtois puts the big boot in it, sends it up towards Romelu Lukaku. The header won though by Simon Kjær, and Denmark have got the ball back again. They have it bang on the halfway line. Højbjerg up to Braithwaite, releases it. Here's an opportunity. Jensen, edge of the area, cracks in a shot, and it's just too high. Wow, they're going for it now, but Jensen couldn't keep it down, and it sails about a foot over the crossbar. A brilliant chance.
Oh, I think he could have kept going. I think he just snapped. He just took the shot, and look, he was pretty close, but I still think he had more time. I still think he should have gone 1v1 and really gone for it.
What a game, what a game. Denmark are hanging on now. They've got their goals, Thorgan Hazard and Kevin De Bruyne. However, it's Denmark who are rattling them now, trying to get an equaliser for 2-2. They're almost out of time. We're moving into stoppages. We'll find out in any second now what's been added on. 5 Live from the BBC. Copenhagen has seen some scenes. The agonies, the ecstasies this week. Is this to end in defeat? 5 minutes to be added on, Karen.
Well,
this has some way yet to go.
It's going to be chance, Connor. There's going to be one big moment, one big chance.
Christensen of Chelsea on the halfway line. Plays it off to Norgard. He's got all his teammates ahead of him. To the right-hand side, Jens Stoyer. Early ball into the penalty area, and it's an attempted flick on by Stoyer, but he can't get a firm touch. It was a great run into the penalty area. He wasn't picked up there, but a breath of relief for Belgium as it goes out for a goal kick.
They've just got to gamble. Any time the cross is coming, that was a good ball, but they're just not anticipating. They've got to gamble. Look, there's 4 minutes left. Any time the ball goes out wide, oh no. Throwing things on
now. A plastic glass onto the pitch in front of Courtois. He kicks it away, and then he kicks the ball up the field. Martin Braithwaite's had 6 attempts at goal at this game. No one at Euro 2020 yet has had more than that. Sheik also had 6 against Scotland. Belgium have lost their attacking rhythm. They're just in defensive mode now. They can't string 2 passes together in attack. Eden Hazard nearly wins the ball back there, and it actually hits the referee.
I think he played it off him on purpose, you know, because he was under pressure. There was 2 players around him, and I actually think he passed it on the referee.
You wouldn't put it past Eden Hazard. He's always thinking 1 step ahead. Free kick to Denmark. Inside their own half. Stoppage time in Copenhagen. What a game this has been. One of the best of the group stages. Will it end with celebration for Denmark if they can get the equaliser? It's played forward. Cornelius slips in the penalty area as it was headed down towards him. So close again. Stoyer's winning everything now. His headed flick on for Cornelius, and as he was trying to lunge onto it, he lost his footing. Down he went to the penalty area. To be fair, he wasn't appealing for a spot kick or anything. It was just as he twisted, he fell, and De Bruyne now pushes a ball in front of Meunier down the right-hand side. Denmark have given it everything at the other end. Now they've got to drag their tired bodies back into defence. Axel Witsel with a trademark bushy hair plays a 1-2 with Tielemans. Belgium just need to hold the ball here. They're in their opponent's half. They need ice-cool veins now. Eden Hazard has got possession, rolls it to Meunier, now into Kevin De Bruyne. He'll try to play a 1-2 with Lukaku, but Lukaku was offside. It's a free kick to Denmark and they can't get it down the other end quickly enough. Denmark 1, Belgium 2. It's almost all over on 5 Live.
Kasper Schmeichel's just urging him to get forward. He's going to just boot it long, pick up the first ball, pick up the second ball.
The pride in the jersey so evident from the Danes. Schmeichel launches it forward. Stoyer wins the header, but it's just flicked on through to Courtois, and he shepherds it, and he's clever here. He's wasting time. He allows a trickle out for a goal kick, and Braithwaite points to the referee, points to the imaginary watch at his wrist, and says, look at it, they're wasting time, and the referee says, whatever they waste, we'll have to add on. What a game. What a game this has been. Brilliant to watch. Poulsen put Denmark in front. The heavy guns came off the bench, though, in the second half for Belgium. And De Bruyne and Torgan Hazard have scored the goals that have them 2-1 in front and heading for back-to-back wins to kickstart their campaign for the world number ones. Andreas Skjolsen. Now, is he fouled by Torgan Hazard? He is. Yellow card comes out again.
He's been good since he's come on, Olsen, because he's just brave. He's going in 1v1 situations. He's nipping past players. This is a big moment now. Delivery from this wide free kick has to be on the money. It has to be on point, because this has got to be the last chance, Conor, right?
Remember, they have taken off Vestergaard, the giant defender. Torgan Hazard there, I mean, that would have been a foul in rugby. That was so rough on the winger, Skjolsen. And now they're sending everyone forward. Even Kasper Schmeichel is up there. Can he summon the powers of Liverpool's Alisson? Can we get a dramatic goalkeeper goal? Vermaelen has been brought on for Torgan Hazard, who had just picked up that booking. Schmeichel trying to find some space on the edge of the penalty area. What drama in Copenhagen. Denmark 1, Belgium 2. This could be the last throw of the dice. The clock ticking on rapidly. It's Mathias Jensen's delivery. It's Lukaku's header beating Schmeichel. There's no one in goal for Denmark. Kevin De Bruyne has it. He rolls it into some space. There's no one marking the goal. If Meunier can shoot here, does he back himself to do so? He keys it in, and it's cleared away off the goal line by Andreas Skjolsen. He has saved that particular moment for Denmark. He gets a high five from the retreating Kasper Schmeichel. That was nearly Meunier's moment. Just when we think this game can give us no more drama. Wow.
What a game. You know, it goes on one end where it's going in. Schmeichel does a diving header, but he doesn't get on it, and then Belgium go the other end and try and score when he's out of goal. It has been unbelievable.
Belgium take the corner short. It was Schmeichel who was challenging for the header, but beaten in the air by the taller Lukaku. Belgium have just got to hold on to the possession now. We've said it a few times that they haven't been able to do it. The clock is ticking on. We've played over the 5 minutes. Witsel to the edge of the D. Belgium in white. If they could get a third goal, it'll finally put the nail in the coffin. But for now, the Danes are going to play on. Tielemans has given it away. Chance of a counter-attack. 4-on-4. Braithwaite down the left-hand side, creeping into the penalty area. The Barcelona man shoots. Blocked away by Alderweireld. And that might be the final action of the game. The referee blows the final whistle, and Denmark gave this their all. They threw everything at it late on, but Belgium have won. It is back-to-back victories for the Belgians. It is back-to-back defeats for the Danes. What an incredible game of football. And in the end, the Belgians just had that little sprinkle of magic, that star quality that has delivered Roberto Martinez another win of the tournament.
Wow, what a game. Literally, first half, second half, two different halves for sure. You know, credit to Denmark. They came out the traps, really aggressive, started brilliantly, got the early goal, and then just couldn't hang on to it because they've got star quality. Belgium made a tactical change, bring on key players, and they stepped up, and De Bruyne was the difference today for Belgium when he came on at half-time, changed it in a tactical change. You feel for Denmark. Look, they've give everything, and as a fan you wanted them to get back into it, but you know, you have to credit Belgium coming back into the game and Roberto Martinez making those changes.
The Danes can hold their head high, but their tournament is dangling by a thread now after back-to-back defeats. The Danes will host Russia here in Copenhagen on Monday. But for Belgium, well, you know, Steve, we mentioned during that second half, can you imagine the scenes in the hospital room and Christian Eriksen watching on? I'm not sure his doctors would have allowed him to watch that. You know, this is a guy who's under cardiac supervision. That was an incredible game. What an advert for football. And well done, Belgium, the way that they turned it around and have secured a win that will keep them amongst the favourites to win the tournament. Denmark 1, Belgium 2.
Karen, for all kinds of reasons, that's the game of the tournament so far.
It was just a privilege to do the game. Thanks, Connor, as well. Unbelievable. But honestly, what a game. It really was. Just from the start to finish, it was just the emotions, the actual game, the game of the tournament. And wow, I'm actually speechless. I think it's the first time I'm speechless. I thought, fantastic, absolute fantastic.
We've also got Christophe Terreur with us. Christophe, you said, will they bring on De Bruyne and turn it round? Yes, they will.
Yes, and they brought on Witsel too. Well, it's a bit like when we bring on. It's a bit like the 80s series, the A team. We still have a few guys on the bench when we are in trouble. So we brought on our A team basically, and yeah, we made the difference with just a few touches of class. That was it, because the rest what the Bruyne did, for instance, wasn't that good. That wasn't the real De Bruyne, but it was just those few touches of class that make the difference. And all credit to Denmark for giving us a hell of a game, because even in the end we were shaking. So I was hoping at a certain moment for the story it would have been better that Schmeichel would have scored that goal. They had deserved an equalizer in my eyes. But yeah, it's good for Belgium that we're through to the next round, but with a lot of trouble in the game, and we were not good. We were poor, but a few touches of class made the difference.
And one touch of class, particularly, Karen, on the first goal. De Bruyne's first touch effectively takes 3 players out of the game.
And that's why he's I think the world's best midfielder, you know, up there anyway, because when everything is going on frantic and people just, you know, you're not playing well, you slash at shots, he just comes in cool as a cucumber and has the composure. And like I said, when everyone else it's frantic, the best players become ice cool in that situation, and they pick out and make the best decisions and the right decisions, and that is exactly what he did.
The way, though, Connor, that the Danish fans, you know, it felt like one of those old school games, and by old school I mean sort of pre-COVID lockdowns, where the fans, you felt they were going to suck the ball in.
Yeah, I mean, I did think that during the second half. What a joy that had the huge crowd in Copenhagen. Can you imagine if that game had taken place behind closed doors? What a disappointment that would have been. This is what we've missed, Steve. You know, of course it is great that the football world has kept things going over the last year and a half, but football in front of full stadiums, and when it serves up drama like that, there's nothing better to watch. That was one of those days where it was the 12th man, and the thing that I think is the greatest credit you can play to Belgium is they played 12 men today. They had a Danish 11 plus that whole image of Christian Eriksen and being represented by the noise of the crowd, and even against that they still had the quality to go and win the game. And that's why before the tournament I tipped them to win it, and I still think, because of the options that Martinez has got on the bench, if things aren't going well, he can change it in a number of directions. I still think they're the team to beat.
He made a really classy gesture, Christophe, Kevin De Bruyne, didn't he? And actually, when he did it, he was only a few metres away from when Christian Eriksen fell. But he scored and he ran towards the fans, and he made a gesture which, you know, was very respectful, wasn't it?
Yeah, definitely. But that's Kevin De Bruyne as we know him. He's always had that. That's just a touch of class, and that's also his human nature. He's really a good guy, and he showed that. And it was quite. You saw the other ones were quite excited, but he stayed calm, and it's showing respect towards Danish crowd, towards Eriksen. It's there you prove that you're not only a great player but a great human too, and to do that on that moment makes it even more particular, I think.
Christoph, Connor, Karen, thank you very much indeed. That was a heck of a game. Must be the best one of the tournament so far. I mean, Ukraine-Netherlands was pretty good, but this just had a whole new level of intensity. So Denmark 1, Belgium 2. It means that Group B looks like this. Denmark, bottom of the group with no points. Finland, a third on 3. Russia just above them, also on 3 points. And then Belgium, of course, top the group. They're going through on 6. Coming up next, we've got another commentary for you from Euro 2020. It will be the third of the day. We've had the drama from the Parken Stadium. We've had Ukraine beating North Macedonia 2-1. Netherlands-Austria is still to come. Kicks off in exactly 1 hour's time. Let's get a report from the close of play. England versus India in Bristol. Ali Mitchell.
A dramatic last half hour of play here. India had been cruising 167 without loss, a record opening stand and a fabulous 96 from the 17-year-old Shefali Verma. But then in a dramatic turnaround, India slumping to 187 for 5 by the close, losing 5 for 16 in 57 scarcely believable balls. Heather Knight with 2 wickets, Siva Eccleston and Cross getting in amongst the action as well. And India find themselves 209 behind with Harmanpreet Kaur and Deepti Sharma in the middle. And suddenly the follow-on is on the cards for England. They've got India 187 for 5, 209 behind. Remarkable day.
In 24 hours' time, we will be an hour away from kickoff at Wembley for the game between England and Scotland. So coming up next, we'll be looking ahead to that with Micah Richards and Jack Wilshere. We'll also be building up to Netherlands versus Austria. But we'll get the news now. Here's Richard Foster.
Listen on BBC Sounds. This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
A public inquiry into the Manchester Arena bombing has found the attacker should have been identified as a threat on the night that it happened. Salman Abedi blew himself up after an Ariana Grande concert. Martin Hett was one of the 22 people who were killed. Here's his mum, Figan Murray.